All right. Looks like we are live, everybody. Took a minute. How's everybody doing? Yeah, unfortunately, the streaming service that I was using, everybody, just decided to completely crap out. So here we are. Let's see here. This music is a little bit on the loud side. There we go. All right, so guys, welcome to the Aura Division. I am your host, Sly, and this is a very special moment for all of us streamers. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be coming out very, very soon. Less than a week, and I cannot believe it. It's been a ride for everybody. I woke up yesterday when the launch trailer came out, and I ran to my wife and I said, I'm gonna go ahead and record. Hogwarts Legacy just dropped a new trailer. I gotta do this. And then I realized that is going to be the last time I'm gonna say those words until the next game comes out. So got a little emotional, but happy nevertheless to see that this game is gonna come out soon. But without further ado, everybody, here we have these amazing streamers who have come to our platform to talk everything Hogwarts Legacy. So thank you, everybody. And if everybody could start introducing themselves, starting with Nightly Nerd, and just going around the screen, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Nate, Nightly Nerd. I run a Hogwarts Legacy YouTube channel. Shocker, as we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy here, but super excited to talk all things Hogwarts Legacy. Super emotional. There we go. I was about to say we need to add Last Marauder.
There's Last Marauder.
But super emotional about the whole thing. Just like you said, it's coming to an end. Our speculation's over, but the game is finally out, and we'll all have it in our hands. So,
yeah. I'm Lamrak. Hogwarts Legacy content creator as well. Shocking. Yeah, it's crazy to believe that the game's so close. It's just always in my mind. It's been like 2 years out at least. And just sort of like kept feeling like that until just all of a sudden, oh, it's next week or this week now. And it's like, that's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Fallen. I'm also another, obviously, Hogwarts Legacy content creator. It's 5:30 in the morning for me, so that's because I'm from Australia. So if I'm sounding a bit quiet, that's the reason why. But appreciate it to be here, and I'm looking forward to chatting about it.
Awesome. Fallen, real quick, guys. If you guys don't know, this whole idea about getting everybody together started with me talking to Fallen. So thank you very much for pitching the idea and helping me get this situated. So again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. So I'm Last Marauder. I cover Hogwarts Legacy and the wider Wizarding World from the UK. And yeah, I'm just excited to talk about the game. It's here. I'm so excited.
I'm Hogwarts Legacy Explained, Connor. I started with Harry Potter and branched out to Hogwarts Legacy back in March last year. I cover a lot of, like Last Marauder, a lot of Harry Potter stuff, but I'm full Hogwarts Legacy at the moment in that mode. I can't believe after 2.5 years, we're finally here.
I know. I don't think we can hear you, Purple Witcher.
No.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. You might want to adjust the input settings in the StreamYard settings if you haven't already.
check the StreamYard.
Yeah, everybody.
Mine went to default
seems
device.
to be. Let's see. I think we can hear you now. Purple Witcher, can you say something?
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
No, no, yeah.
I literally heard "Can you?" and then it stopped.
I
Yeah.
heard some burst of audio.
Everything's working here on our side.
Hello.
There you are.
Hey.
Yep.
Perfect. Sorry about
Awesome.
that. As I was saying, I'm Purple Witcher, but you can also call me Hannah. I'm from the north of England, and I've been doing Hogwarts Legacy theory, news, breakdown videos, and I also stream fantasy games over on Twitch. And I also can't believe the game is nearly here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to chatting about Hogwarts Legacy.
No, thank you all for taking your time of being here. I know it's 5:30 in the morning for Fallen in Australia, so
Real. It's all good. I got my morning coffee. I'm all sweet.
oh, there you go. There you go. I just finished my third cup, so I think we're there. All right, everybody. So a couple things before we start the stream. We're going to cover everything Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously, I would like to talk about the launch trailer that just dropped, final game predictions. But then again, just like every single stream, it's going to be run by you guys and run by chat. So we're probably going to go to many deep rabbit holes, completely off tangent, but there we are. Also, everybody, please support the creators here. All of their information is going to be on the link in the description below of the video. And yeah, we'll take comments, questions, and we'll talk about the game for as long as everybody wants. So we're gonna have some fun. And no leaks or spoilers, everybody. Just wanted to point that out there. No leaks or spoilers in the stream at all. And again, everybody, thank you for being here. So let's talk about the first issue that we were just talking about before stream, right? So the launch time, right? I know, yeah, Fallen's already shaking his head. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride up to this point. We all thought that everybody was gonna get the game globally at midnight on the 7th of February, and Hogwarts Legacy just tweeted that that's not the case for PC players. So what do you guys have to say about that?
Absolutely heartbroken.
Like, I'm devastated because I live in Australia and we usually get games first before everyone else in the world. And then now I'm getting it the same to everyone else, which is it's not something like I'm upset about. It's just like, it's always a privilege because everything that Hogwarts Legacy releases content, it always releases at like 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. And then that's your guys' normal time. That's when you guys are at, back at home from work or something. And that's one of the privileges that I've always felt that us Australians always get, because there's no games made for Australia. We're always getting content released in the mornings for us, and that's when it's hard for us. But I'm gutted about it. That's me, and it is what it is. So I have to change up the stream idea then, but it's all right.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a terrible decision. And
Yeah.
that's trying to say it lightly, just because a lot of people are gonna take some flights to New Zealand and take some flights to Australia here on Xbox on Monday. So you're gonna push back the release for PC an extra day when all the news and information embargoes lifting at like 9 a.m. Eastern on Monday. So there's going to be a ton of information and spoilers out. So it's just a bad decision all around, in my opinion. But
and it's not 72-hour early access. We get like what?
It depends,
60
doesn't it? Because
something.
if they release the actual like normal release at the same time, then you're still getting 72 hours, aren't you? I think the PC release would just be late for that as well.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I read it. But yeah,
It's just
I'm
PC.
devastated as well.
and they do that because of spoilers. But
It's crazy.
at that point, the game's already gonna be spoiled.
And that's the main issue, right? That a lot of people are considering is that, well, I pre-ordered the game, I wanted to play the game right away, and then I'm gonna have to wait 10 hours, right? And there's a massive number. I believe someone took the poll. I believe anywhere from 45 to 50% of the players will be playing on the PC. So that is a massive number of people who are basically just left behind, are going to have to basically shut down their computers, all of the social platforms, everything, right?
I promise this isn't a plug, but like I literally set up a 24-hour charity live stream starting at midnight. Well, I was going to start at 11 o'clock, like build up to the release, do the release, play the game for 24 hours, and then obviously finish 24 hours later, all for charity. And I was playing on the PC. I've literally just had to I've got home from work, and the first thing I did, because I didn't know how long the early access thing was going for, is I just had to spend £75 on PlayStation to buy the game on the PlayStation. And now I've got to try and figure out how I'm going to connect my PlayStation, which probably means I'm going to have to spend money getting like a capture device or something like that. And yeah, it's blowing my mind. I thought they was going to synchronize release, but I thought the likelihood would be that they'd synchronize it at midnight on sort of GMT, like our time, if you know what I mean. So we'd synchronize then, and it just means that like anyone America side would get it early. I thought that's the way they'd do it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me, and this is just my personal opinion, right? It seems to me that Hogwarts Legacy has had some issues with releasing content in general, right? I mean, with the whole thing about, old gen consoles and next gen consoles and separating everything, and then, wanting to support all of the different platforms, and all of a sudden just say, well, actually, after the pre-order was taken, right, saying, actually, no, we're going to be dividing that. And it's going to be, 3 months apart each. And now this. And like you said, Les Marauder, it is very disappointing. And I did see your post, a 24-hour live stream supporting this charities, right? Different charities. It's disappointing, right? It's disappointing, and it's all over Twitter. It's all over Facebook. I mean, people are talking about this, and frankly, I don't know why it took them so long, right, to release this information. We're 4 days from release, basically, and just now we're getting it.
I just don't.
I
My logic
agree.
is I don't understand how the PlayStation's still being released at the same time. I just don't understand what the concept of it is. It just doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah,
They're trying to stop spoilers. Then why would
spoilers
they?
for who?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the PlayStation's still going to be released. Everyone's still going to have it on PlayStation. If you're, I'm still going to be doing my 24-hour live stream. I'm just
Right,
going
it's
to
not
have
like
to
you can't
spend
record on
money to do it.
PlayStation.
It's just
no
it's
sense.
crazy.
I don't want to dwell on it for too long, but I feel like I need to vent because I am really disappointed. Like, I don't have a PS5, I am a PC player, and because I'm UK time, I now have to wait 18 hours after all the console players can start playing it, because we can't even start playing it at 6 p.m. We have to start installing it then as well, because for PC there is no preloading. That's only for console as well. So it's a little bit of a slap in the face when we also have the exclusive PS5 quest as well. But I understand from a business perspective, you have to do these certain things, but it was a bit of a shock to me, and I completely agree.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to respond to this situation. I'm sure right now you have to have known, right, that people, all of the content creators across the world, would be devastated with that kind of news. Are you all going to huckle down and just go dark until it's time to release?
Thankfully, I'm in the US, so I only have to wait till 1. But probably not. I'll probably just maybe look at a few things, but not look at too much. But yeah, especially for those in across the sea, it's gonna be, I don't know. It's rough.
Yeah, Nagura Ravenclaw says a good point, right? WB Avalanche just have to ask the team to do a midnight release. It's in there, so why don't, nobody's really understanding why they've decided to do that? Is it a server issue? That brings me some interesting questions, right? Who knows?
It's not. It's just for the files, honestly. And as
Yeah.
bad as that sounds, it's just because it's easier to get into the files on that. Even though I don't know if you guys are on Reddit or anything, there's been spoilers flying left and right for the last week. So it's a bad decision, but like you said, they've been having trouble getting release dates since the beginning. I don't know if you guys were trying to pre-order in whatever, June, August. It was like 30 minutes delayed. Everyone was up in arms. They do this whole thing where they make late minute decisions, and I don't know. It's something we can talk about here, but unfortunately that's just the truth, and I don't know. It's just what's happening. It sucks.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We hope for the best. Still, this game is amazing, as we all know. Especially with this last launch trailer, blew my mind. You guys should have seen my face. I still haven't had time to do my actually upload my reaction video yet. I've been so busy dealing with the live streams and everything else. But absolutely insane. Also, elephant in the room. So far, up to this point, it was marketed that Expecto Go and Ben Snow would be here. They unfortunately, everybody had a last-minute secret change that required them not to attend. Matter of fact, they've basically canceled all of their stream invitations for the whole weekend.
Some as well with them planned, so it isn't just this one.
Yeah,
sitting around doing nothing.
so
Did they cancel tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. I
they-
don't know 100%, but I think they've cancelled tomorrow as well. I think they're not allowed to do. Well, I had a brief conversation with James. I don't think he's allowed to do anything. I presume they're going to be involved in some way with the launch. So that is presumption. That's not. I've not been told anything. That is pure presumption. But
There's
same
two
here.
thoughts behind it. They either got a copy today. A lot of people were thinking the copies were coming out tomorrow, just to give people 3 days. But they either got a copy today, or they're starting to travel. Because I know Professor Lynette said she was traveling for launch, and that's a little suspicious when they posted something about having special guests. So there could be a lot going on. If it says special guests, it could be the three of them, and then I don't know who else could be part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's crazy is they had all confirmed until basically last night. So something must have happened,
Suddenly.
very, very. I mean, must have been this morning, if anything. So, Last Marauder, I think they canceled tomorrow also. At least Ben told me that he was canceling. So, yeah.
Yeah, I presume they would. If they cancel this one and then my one, I presume they was going to cancel that one. So
yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame because I mean, it's always good to have their insight because they've played it.
Yeah. I mean, I was really happy to have them here, and then last minute I had to do a quick change in marketing and change the thumbnail, and then Nemorak reached out asking about it. I was like, absolutely. I mean, the more the merrier. I'd love to have as many Hogwarts Legacy content creators here. So awesome. All right, so what is the feeling across the room about the game? I'd like to start by saying that, just take a deep dive, look at everything they've released so far, right? What are your expectations for the game? What do you think is going to happen? You can just give us a bird's eye view information of what you think and your expectations.
I think it's gonna be good. I think that's gonna be underselling it a little bit. I think scores don't really matter anymore because so many people score things based on the type of games they play. So if this is a game, like you're an RPG gamer, you're gonna score this RPG differently than if you would score like a rhythm-based game. So looking at the score doesn't really matter, but it's probably gonna fall somewhere between a 7 and an 8 if it doesn't get like review bombed by people who are hating the whole JK controversy, which we don't need to get into at all. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good game. I don't know how long we'll be able to play it. That's my biggest question is, after the 100 hours it takes to complete it, how long can we actually stay in that world? But I'm super excited because I think it's going to be the game we all actually want.
25 years in the making.
Yeah. I think it's turning out very different from what I initially expected when the reveal trailer came out. I expected maybe a bit more of like a Hogwarts sim thing, but it's turning out to be more of like it's looking like a really good game. There are some concerns with like some graphical glitches, doors loading. But overall, I think the combat, the story, it's all looking like it's going to come together to be a really great game. Not necessarily what I expected, but I'm very excited for how it's turning out.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be called Hogwarts: A Dark Legacy, right?
Yeah, I think
I think that was the original title of the game. So, yeah, good deal.
Yeah, I'm like bloody stoked to have it. Like, I mean, I remember when I was about 7 years old, I first played Oblivion, and that's like my favorite game of all time. And I've always had like the old Harry Potter games, so I played Chamber of Secrets, Philosopher's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban, all those games on the PC. And I remember saying to my brothers, I wish I had a similar type of Harry Potter game to Oblivion. And this was when I was 7, and this is 14 years later. And now we're here and just a few days away, and I'm very stoked for it. I think it's going to run for potentially Game of the Year, because I reckon it looks really good though. It looks really good, but I guess we'll see when the game comes out.
I think potentially it could go Game of the Year. I think there's a lot of strong competition this year. That's the issue. If it's as good as we all think it's going to be, then it is in with a chance. But yeah, there's a lot of competition this year. But personally, I think it's going to be my Game of the Year. I think it's going to be the game of my life, to be fair, because I've been waiting for this since I first read the book when I was like 11, I think I was. So yeah, I just can't wait. It's it looks fantastic. Everything they've done up until, I mean, we spoke about the blip today with the release times and that sort of stuff, but everything the dev team and the production team and everything they've done, it's just been spot on so far. They've promoted it perfectly. Everything they show teases the perfect amount more. I just can't wait to get in and play it.
Quite similar to Lamorak, it's changed what I thought it was originally going up to be. I was just expecting a good Wizarding World sort of fun adventure, exploring Hogwarts. But the more we've seen, the more we've got to look at. It looks like it's going to be a very good RPG style game. Like, there are a few, like the lock mechanics and stuff I just feel a bit out of place in the Harry Potter world with Alohomora. The games have never done Alohomora well. But yeah, the more we've seen, the more I've just got excited to think this isn't just going to be a good Wizarding World Harry Potter game. This is going to be a really good RPG, actual really good game in general for not just Harry Potter fans, but for gaming fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely also going to be my game of the year. I mean, this is my childhood dream come true. I've been a massive Harry Potter fan and a massive fan of open world games. Combining those two together for Hogwarts Legacy is giving me my dream. I just want to go to Hogwarts and giving us that immersive experience of going to Hogwarts. I know that means so much to so many people. So I think people will be playing this game for a long, long time, many years after the release. That's my prediction. We won't know until we finish the game whether there is potential for a second game or third game. Something we'll probably talk about later is DLCs. Huge potential there. I think there is so much you can do with Hogwarts Legacy, and yeah, I think it's going to be huge. It's already huge, but yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, there's also a Merlin Stargazer Tim on chat actually said something really interesting. He said, even though I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy on the PS5, I'm not going to play into the global release time for PC in solidarity for my fellow fans on PC who will be getting almost half a day less of early access. That's
Respect.
awesome, Merlin Stargazer Tim. That's really good on you. That's really, really cool.
Have
And
more
Thank
restraint
you.
than me.
yeah, I mean, last Mortal was like, I need to buy that digital edition now.
The first thing I did when I got home was buy it for PS5. You have so much more restraint than me.
Yeah, I'm also going to be streaming on the PS5. Also, I did buy it for the PC as well, and the primary reason there was because of the mods. I do want to see what people are gonna do with the mods, but we'll talk more about that later. All right, so we just watched the launch trailer, right? Probably the most story-packed trailer that we've gotten so far, right? So I'm gonna start with this question: who are we, everybody? Who do you all think we are?
Anyone? Shall I go?
I used to think that we would be a descendant of Merlin, but I don't know if that's true anymore because I think Merlin is more to do with the ancient magic in Hogwarts, not necessarily with us, but I know that's very intertwined as well. I do think that we're descendant from a very, very powerful wizard, whether that's Merlin or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I think whether or not we're related to Merlin, I mean, it's relevant, but also it's kind of not relevant. I think the more important thing is that we are one of the few remaining wizards who are able to harness this ancient magic, and which we already know. So I think even if we're not related to Merlin, just the connection to ancient magic is going to be what we use to connect with these like Merlin-esque puzzles throughout. And I think it's like in the cinematic trailer, she's like, we don't know what magic caused this. Like there seems to be some sort of like world event going down, something big, probably connected to ancient magic. And I think we're going to be very sought after by various forces and various, like, I don't know what the word for that, but like various groups because of whatever this event is and just our power. So I think there's gonna be a lot of conflicting interests, and then we're sort of caught in the middle of that as one of the few who can sort of organically harness this. And then there's some who want to learn about it, and then there's some who want to harness it inorganically and sort of try to steal that power. I think there's gonna be a lot of things sort of swirling around us.
Okay. And real quick, we have a super chat from Phoenix Nara 499. Thank you, Phoenix Nara, for the continuous support. Appreciate it. And great to have you here on the stream. Yeah, I believe a Modern Talking Center just said Whispers of Ancient Magic, right? That was out of the MC's mouth, right? What do you guys think that means?
This is probably everywhere, is what I think that means. I think it just sort of symbolizes the fact that it's not, there's elements of it everywhere, and we can tap into it. I think at this point in the game, when he sort of says that, I don't think he's very powerful with it. So I think he only sees it as whispers, and I think as we get more powerful in the game, it's going to turn into shouts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But I've done a whole theory on who I think our character is, and I'm still sticking with it. I think we started off before this game as a squib. And I think our parents are some sort of curse breakers or something similar to that. And then during the event that happens beforehand, we encounter ancient magic. The ancient magic goes into us. Our parents unfortunately die during this scene, and we absorb their magic, which means we're going to Hogwarts. And that's why we went to Hogwarts before.
Oh, interesting.
That is my specific theory. And then, I'm sticking with it. I think that's what it's going to be. I'm probably going to be massively wrong on Tuesday.
I don't
Sounds
think
like you read something.
I
definitely haven't read anything. This video came out months ago.
I don't think we're squib previously.
That's a really good
just
theory.
because when we're talking to Lucan, we say, "Oh, dueling's like a great pastime." So if we're a squib, we probably haven't been dueling much previously. So that part of the theory, I wouldn't say, but the rest of it, yeah, that's interesting.
Anybody else wants to have a go as to who we are?
No.
No?
I just don't think it's like, if we're talking about if we're a descendant of somebody, I would say probably not. But like everyone else is saying, I think the part of the ancient magic is more important. It seems to be like a kinetic power because you can change things. You have power of electricity, you have power of fire as part of your ancient magic spells when you hit R1. So I don't know if it's necessarily related to Merlin or anything, but obviously he was probably the last one that had the powers. So that's why you're going to connect with him. But I don't know if it's necessarily important that you're a descendant.
Yeah, I mean, my personal theory, and I thought a lot about this. I guess the strongest one that I have is that we are actually from a known wizarding heritage, and we are being protected by something or someone, perhaps an order, very much like the Order of the Phoenix was protecting Harry, excuse me, keeping him away, and everything. And it's gotten to a point where that, ancient magic arrived, right? It woke up, and that's when we got called to go to Hogwarts and everything else. So there's a lot more that I won't, bore your ears out, with it. But I believe we're being protected, and even, we get sent to the school.
I mean, that's definitely possible. Think about Encanto, if you guys ever saw that. I mean, you all get your powers at like a certain age. Maybe the ancient power comes at a certain age. So you've been protected knowing there's a possibility that you had ancient powers. And when you hit 15 or whatever, 5th year, whatever that age is, 15, 16, your powers showed up. So now it's like, oh, shoot, time to go to Hogwarts. Possible.
Yeah. I mean, maybe perhaps Miriam, right, Fig's wife, knew about us, right? And that's the whole reason why Fig, knows us perhaps in the ministry. So
Fig's wife is or Cassandra Mason.
Oh,
that's my theory.
Oh, okay.
Fig's wife is Cassandra Mason.
Keep going.
Like she pretended to die, and is staying close to Hogwarts at Hogsmeade as Cassandra Mason.
Interesting. I would say you're crazy, but the cinematic trailer in the beginning, that's like, that's suspicious. Yeah, that's nuts.
Merlin Stargazer Tam asks, magic itself, or more the ability to wield it, is almost treated as a genetic ability. Some have it, and others don't. What if ancient magic is a further refinement of this genetic predisposition?
So our characters like the X-Men of the wizarding world. We've evolved to be more powerful. That's quite interesting. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Now, the thing about Cassandra, it's interesting, right? Because I believe, personally, I think she's the one in the beginning of the release trailer, right? Her voice, her sleeves, right? She was wearing a hat very much like the one that we saw from the Haunted Hogsmeade trailer, and brought up some good points, right? What was she doing in Hogwarts at the Owlery, right? The Hogsmeade, if she's a shopkeeper in Hogsmeade has an outpost. Why did she have to go to Hogwarts, number one? And number two, why did she have an official Hogwarts paper, right? Because we saw the Hogwarts crest on the paper when the MC opens up. At least we think it's the MC opens up, unfolds the paper. What do you guys think about that?
See, I don't think it's the main character. I think that's your keeper.
Okay.
That we had we went down a whole rabbit hole on one of my streams about this, and that I think that's your keeper because she looks shocked that it's your turn to go to Hogwarts. So she's probably known the whole time that eventually this letter would come. So the shock on her face is like, oh shoot, now it's time for XYZ person to go. I have to get her to Fig. I can't explain why Cassandra Mason was there, but it is curious why she's there.
See, I'm going to counteract all of it.
Okay. Yeah, what do you mean by keeper?
Do you mean like guardian?
Yeah, well, guardian maybe because your parents died. But oftentimes, if you're talking about protective services, you'll have a legal guardian or keeper or someone who just watches over you. So that's a possibility. If everyone
pretty young, she looked like the same age as the MCs have all been. So I don't know.
Those main characters look young.
The only thing I'm going to counteract with it is I don't think it was an acceptance letter.
No.
I don't think it was. No. I don't think it was an acceptance letter to Hogwarts. I think it was. If you look at the ground, it was snowing, so it was winter time. So you wouldn't get an acceptance letter in winter time.
Well,
I think either we have been potentially expelled and it's asking us to come back, or something similar like that has happened, or maybe we have gone off with Fig to do something in London, which is where the whole like Gringotts scenes potentially happen halfway through the story, and then something happens back at Hogwarts and they're asking us to come back quickly. Basically, I don't think it's necessarily. I think they've intentionally made it misleading. I'm also not sure it's because it sounds amazing personally.
It was a montage, right? I mean, if you look at
because there wasn't
the
sound
owl
earlier.
Right. If you look at the owl and they changed the position of the ladder, right? It was attached to the ankle and then it didn't have the ladder all of a sudden, and then it had the ladder again, you know, in its talons. So it was definitely a montage that, you know, the difference in seasons, day, night, all of that, right? So they were trying to obviously use the owl to narrate that story, right? But I definitely think there was a montage there. So I think I agree with Nightly Nerd there. I don't think that was the MC.
Yeah,
And that would tie in pretty good with my theory about an order protecting us. Right?
You guys said that it probably wasn't the acceptance letter, and I sort of agree with you because of the winter, but also in the launch trailer we did see the player. It was looking like they were going through a wand sorting ceremony. They come out and they're holding the wand box and talking to Rookwood, and it was winter. So maybe they just got their wand, maybe they were just upgrading the wand, whatever it may be, but it sort of looked like the wand sorting ceremony during the winter. So
they were already in their Gryffindor robes then, though, which makes me think it's after you have to have gone Hogwarts to be sorted to get your Gryffindor robes. So I
got the ancient magic wand.
So I watched your video after doing mine last Marauder, and I said I said the same thing. That box, but then I also saw Lamrock's tweet where obviously comparing that shot to the state of play where it was summer, there was like flowers, the box wasn't in the hand. Sierras.
I have a crazy theory. Here's the thing. So yes, it was winter. We saw the ancient magic wand, right, as we call it, and we saw the MC holding another wand while protecting the box of the ancient magic wand. And it was winter, right? Meaning that, you know, it was halfway through the year. Here's the thing. What if they're playing the whole thing about the Elder Wand, like from the Harry Potter books, where all of a sudden we've already been sorted. We already have our wand, right? And now we have to retrieve this one somehow, you know, for some reason from Ollivanders. Very much like we were looking for the Elder Wand with the other Ollivanders, right? Because if you think about it, why would they place an Ollivander shop in Hogsmeade?
So you could upgrade your wand, probably, or get new wands.
So there must be a connection.
Well, that's canon. That Ollivander shop is canon in all of lore. It's not just for Hogwarts Legacy. There's two. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
this is one at Orlando's or whichever one out in America in the Hogsmeade there.
Yeah.
So model that off lore.
No, that's true.
When
there's
you're
different
talking
branches.
about it, you could be that first mission, as we're presuming you going out with Fig, you could be finding the ancient wand, and then Ollivanders has to make sure there's no curses on it. Just like Harry's firebolt had to get checked for curses and stuff like that. You could be giving it to him to check, and then he's giving you in a box because he checked it in XYZ. So you already had a wand, now you get a second wand because you found it.
Quite similar, how Ollivander checks for wands in Deathly Hallows Part 2. You go to see if it's got an allegiance with someone else, you know, if it will yield to you, or if it obviously has a master already.
Yeah, because we see Ollivanders showing the MC the box, right? But when the MC actually holds his wand and gets, you know, his wand, it's a different wand. So
yeah, I think people might be putting too much stock in this ancient magic wand. He opens the box as the ancient magic wand, and then, like you said, I think he's then holding a different wand up, and Ollivander is standing there with the same wand box, and then the wand box is like wider than the ancient magic wand, so it looks like it's almost designed just to hold any wand. So personally, I think it's just a wand option, one of the ones that we can pick, and that is just a scene where we get a wand, and they just sort of filmed it using different wands. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Super Nidge is saying, I like the idea of being a descendant of Morgana. This can play into the notion of dark legacy, or what is perceived as dark by others, and whether you choose to follow that path or not. So here's the question, right? Expecto Go obviously has been talking a lot about Merlin and the potential Merlin diary and everything else. What do you think the connection is with Merlin? Do you guys believe Merlin is in the game, or Morgana? What do you guys think the dynamics are?
How many spoilers we're getting into here? Because the trophy list has been out for a while.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
let's not talk about the spoilers.
So that's
if you
the
will.
only spoiler I've looked at, because I'm for anybody who knows anything about me, I'm huge into trophies. So that was like a must look at for me. And yeah, I would say Merlin's in the game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like the only spoiler I didn't look at, because I was like, I don't want story spoilers. I'll take gameplay spoilers. I'll take environment spoilers. I'll take creature spoilers. But
there wasn't really any like true story spoilers. I was surprised that they didn't name the trophies, because usually like defeat this boss, defeat this XYZ. But there wasn't really like I would say maybe like 3 out of 10 like in intensity for spoilers. There wasn't really.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing, you know, when you look at that book, right, the Tom Riddle's diary, if you will, and you look at the concept art, you can definitely see the picture of a woman, right, a fair woman, a fair maiden, and then that same woman sort of transitioning to something else, something more monstrous, if you will. Do you guys think that is perhaps connected to Morgana?
If you're gonna have Merlin, I think it would make sense to have Morgana. They're always linked together when you put them in stories and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're like enemies. And you know, I think it would make sense to have them both in there. I think Merlin's gonna be in the game. I don't know if we're actually going to see him specifically alive. I've kind of made a miniature theory that he's potentially one of the dragons being kept alive by a Horcrux.
Yep.
But I think definitely Merlin's going to be in the game in some way, and I think the most obvious way would be through memories, which also makes me think that the founders are going to be in the game as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Merlin's book that we see in the headmaster's office, and we see it in the launch trailer, when the player character gets sucked into that book, I think that's a really good opportunity to take us back to Merlin's memories and to learn what Merlin knew about ancient magic and learn through Merlin in that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to juggle, right? I mean, you have the Ranrock, you know, quest with Rookwood. Allegedly, they are connected. And then we have this potential Merlin, potential founders as well. I mean, we all know that Merlin was a fairly, you know, early student at Hogwarts, and definitely knew the founders, right? But how much of that, you know? And then we have these massive side quests. I mean, I gotta tell you, I am very surprised as to like how far they went with the side quests of the companions, right? These side quests are not small. Right, we're looking at Sebastian's Dark Legacy with a potential connection to Salazar Slytherin. We have Poppy Sweeting basically fighting these poachers and releasing, you know, the Hebridean Black and perhaps more dragons, right? We don't know much about that side, though. But what do you guys... I mean, it speaks as to how big this game's going to be, right?
I think a question was asked in one of my chats, and we kind of went down a long rabbit hole that may have led to some spoilers. But I think Sebastian's the easiest companion to like because we know the most about him so far, versus where Poppy, like, I just get a sense that she's bad. And I don't know why that is. I just get a sense that she's not good. Yeah.
All you have to do is look at her, right?
Yeah. But Natsai, like, for me, she's the most interesting because I feel like there's a deeper story there than we've been told about her. and it got brought up in my chat because I was like, oh, why is she coming from Wagadu? There has to be a reason behind it. And my chat brought something up that the voice actor said that I won't say, because they were all convinced it was a character card that was released, but it was actually from the voice actor. And there is a reason why she's coming over, and it's interesting, but I think there's more to her than most people would expect.
Yeah,
I was in that live stream. I remember that. Yeah, it was released on the official it was an official press release, so you could say it.
Right. They were also convinced it was a character card. I was like, no.
Yeah, I was as well.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Sebastian, right? I mean, I at least had. I was thinking, oh, maybe that's the Chamber of Secrets, and maybe that they're somehow connecting that. Because I mean, the door and the snake, and look, Salazar Slytherin, right? We all know that he was extremely protective, and he would not. There had to have been some sort of mechanic to allow those students into the chamber. So, which begs the question, right? I mean, Salazar was all about, Parseltongue, and so are we going to be a Parselmouth, or is Sab, or that other third player, right? What do you guys think?
No, I don't think we'll see the Chamber of Secrets or anything like that.
But even the tomb, right? Even if it's the tomb of Salazar, right? It looked heavily armored.
I still don't think. No, I don't think. Just from, I don't think King will be a Parselmouth or anything like that. He'll be on the hunt. Obviously, it's all to save his sister, who's got this, curse illness, which could be similar to what Draco Malfoy's wife has in the future. Like this, it could be something where it's put
Blood
on you.
malediction.
Yeah, and they try to obviously find a curing. Obviously, it might end up trying to find the person who put it on her or the family of the Salazars. But yeah, I don't think anyone will be like a Parselmouth or related to Slytherin or anything like that.
Okay.
At that time, I'm trying to think if there were any gaunts. I'm trying to think if it'd gone down. It'd probably be Marvolo as a child. Marvolo as a child. I don't think he might be there, but I don't think so.
Well, in just a little curveball there. In one of the I forgot who was doing it. In one of the gameplays, there was a character named Ominous Gaunt. Did you guys see that?
I remember this. Yeah.
I miss.
I believe there's a Pruitt as well.
Yeah.
There are a few references.
I saw Pruitt. I saw Pruitt,
yeah.
But yeah, not a Gaunt.
So there is a Gaunt in the game. I mean, I stopped. My jaw dropped, and I looked at it and I said, "Why?" I mean, the name, same spelling, same everything. So we have a Gaunt in the game.
It'd be interesting to see as well, because, obviously we know by the time Marvolo and all that, they've gone into Squalor, so they might be one of the last ones that are actually of a decent sort of background before the inbreeding takes them, to what we see. So it'd be interesting to see a Gaunt that's actually slightly normal, maybe. And I don't think our character will be any way past time or anything like that. I think it will, if anything, we would potentially enlist the help of them if there's definitely a Gaunt in the game, because it's only going to be that bloodline that's got it, and our characters, we name our character, so our bloodline isn't really going to be linked directly to the Gaunts.
Yeah, I mean, what killed me was you see the name, right? Ominous Gaunt, I think that's what it was, and then you see a blonde kid walking. And that kid looked a lot like the kid from Sebastian, like the third person from Sebastian's quest. So, theory time, right? Maybe that's our in. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a crapshoot out there. I could be 100% wrong.
What I will find interesting if you play as a female character and obviously go to that bathroom. if you walk around the sink, I wonder obviously if you'll make any sort of remarks or anything, or just be able to feel something, with ancient magic, something down, obviously a basilisk and things laying down there. I do wonder what the reaction will be as your character, if you're able to notice anything or just interact with it in any way.
Oh, this tap doesn't work. That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
But what do you think Sebastian's after?
Help his sister.
A way to save his sister, yeah. Or at least, or try to find the people who did it and you obviously kill, use a bar cadaver or something. Yeah.
I think he's going to be lurking in the restricted section, trying to find out anything he can about Horcruxes, curses, dark magic, potentially, as you said, going after the people who might have done this, using dark magic against them. Yeah.
Obviously,
scary stuff.
Throwing it out there, obviously, we know he's going to teach us Crucio. Where do you think Guides of Dark Tagava is going to come from? Where's that going to pop up?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because if he teaches us Crucio, are we going to learn the unforgivable curses from the other companions, right?
I think we'll learn it from Rookwood.
From Rookwood,
Yeah,
potentially. I don't get the impression that him and Ranrock get on very well. I don't know. This is a bit off the top of my head, but I don't get the impression they get on very well. And I think at some point there's going to be a mission where we actually probably team up a bit more or have aligned interests, put it that way. And I think potentially it might be him that teaches us. It is just a random theory.
I did find it interesting how Rookwood was mooring the launch trailer yesterday than Ramrock. So obviously we've had this impression all along that Ramrock's number one, Rookwood's on the side. But yeah, I could see, obviously, Rookwood is this arrogant wizards ruling over goblins, probably try to take over at some point.
It's a very interesting dynamic, right? Wizards fighting with goblins, right? Goblins want nothing but, well, at least Ranrock and gang, they want nothing but to put an end to wizard kind. So why is Victor Rookwood helping this goblin, right? We can say, he's selfish and he has his own motives and he wants to get his own thing, right? But there's a lot of hate and love for Poppy in the chat right now. I know Nightly Nerd.
He's the
Dark Lord.
I'm telling you.
Fourth play, exactly. The Dark Lord.
Everyone thinks Poppy's evil, but
After they put her head on Voldemort.
Basically every single book of Harry Potter, there is a twist, right? Where we think a bad character is a good character and whatnot. So,
the thing that confused me about Poppy is hers and Natsai's story. Like not story, but like their intentions both seem very similar. I don't know. It just seems weird. I feel like there's got to be more to one of their stories.
Yeah, Merlin Stargazer Sim says Poppy's a saint. Patroness of fantastic beasts and those who care for them, an avenging angel against poachers and other poo heads. He's still smiling.
I think she's like good. I think she'll just go too far if she has to protect magical beasts.
Go ahead, sorry.
You are anyone seen like the Peacemaker show where he's like it's a superhero?
Is that the John Cena one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, he's bad, but he thinks he's doing good because it's like patriotism. So I had a theory about this a while ago, like you guys are saying. Like, I think Poppy's gonna do whatever to those poachers, and I think it's gonna lead her down a bad, dark path because she's willing to do whatever, rather than Sebastian is kind of willing to do whatever, but is doing it for a reason. Whereas she just thinks it's like it's my cause. I need. Yeah, kill these poachers.
She straight up disintegrated 5 of them in the last trailer. So
right.
Well, not her. A dragon.
The dragon, yeah.
It was on her. Yeah, she made that.
Hermione and Harry did buy Gringotts as well. To be fair.
Well, hold on. That's curious. If you watch that trailer again, the 2 fifth-year students are the only people that use Protego. Everyone else just got burned.
I was thinking that. I was like,
you don't think the older wizards are going to use Protego?
Yeah, everybody just gets, oh my god, he's gonna, the dragon's gonna kill us all. Cow.
It's like that's every story with like every fantasy story with like kids or like teenagers as the main characters. The adults are always just like useless. It's very strange.
It was cold
mean-
outside. They were just trying to warm up.
Oh, there you go. I mean, like, if you look at Poppy's face when the dragon gets released, right? Our MC's face is of complete, scared to death. And Poppy's just like, oh, okay. It's a dragon.
Just like Haggard.
Which
She wants it to
begs
happen.
that question, right? How far would she go? Same thing like Sebastian. How far will he go? Right? I mean, there are direct connections, between those characters and how they react. But so we learned a lot about Sebastian. At least, as much as we've learned about Poppy now. What do you guys think about Natty? What do you think her side quest is going to be about?
Those are those spoilers we
Yeah.
went down.
See, I
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen
mean-
the spoilers, so I can't. I genuinely don't know. Like, I'm
Were
not
you
seeing
in the
any
chat
spoilers.
when we were talking about it?
The only thing we was talking about was what was actually released about her dad and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it
But that
went a
was
step
actually
further.
released.
What the
Oh,
trophy
really?
was
Okay.
called?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
okay,
didn't
I
see
didn't
that
see
part.
that.
No.
No.
There's a
Yeah.
name of her trophy that kind of
Right,
gives
okay.
away something
Ah,
Right,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
that I
Mm.
totally missed until someone said something about it, and I was like,
Mm.
huh.
I feel like me and you left at the same time.
Yeah,
When
it's
this
getting
happened.
late, wasn't it? It was getting late. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird. Like I said, I just find her story weird because we don't know much about her and the fact she's come over and obviously
Her mum has
didn't
as
see her
well.
dad.
Yeah.
Her mum didn't see the prophecy of her dad dying or whatever it was that was released. But it's just strange that the only mission we see them in just seems to be a mission that really should have been Poppy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because we only ever seen her in the High Wing trailer, the High Wing setting. So, and in my opinion, that would just be more of a Poppy thing rather than her. So I don't understand what her character has actually to do with anything at the moment.
Yeah. James Ling is asking, what do you guys think of Professor Fig? Will he return on us? Will he turn on us, or will another professor?
I don't think Fig will turn on us just because he's trying to get justice for his wife or whatever. So I don't see how hurting a student or whatever would help with that, especially one who's like the source of ancient magic that she was trying to learn about. But I have no idea.
I think Professor Fig is probably going to be our main companion in the game because whenever we are exploring outside of Hogwarts, it's Fig that's with us, like no one else. Fig is with us most of the time. Whenever we see these new locations, he's always there and he wants to learn more about ancient magic. And he's my favourite character so far, actually. I've got a lot riding on Professor Fig. I'm really excited to meet him. And he just seems so kind as well. But so I don't think he will turn on us. I think he's going to be our biggest ally and probably our biggest friend as well.
You know,
My money's on Hecat.
Heck it.
I don't like her. There's something about her. I cannot find it anywhere. But I'm sure the first time we saw her, she had her hood up and she just looked like the statues of the hooded character we see everywhere. And I don't trust her. I don't know why. I just don't trust her. And she's got that symbol on her classroom floor, the symbol that's above the pensive. She's got that on her classroom floor in the latest trailer. Like, there's something weird about her, and I just don't trust her. But Fig is a hero. I think he's going to be like, I think he's going to be like our Dumbledore. So the only way he will potentially betray us is in a similar way to Dumbledore. Like,
Interesting. Yeah.
like
Fig gives me,
leading you to the point where you are powerful enough to do something for him.
Fig though, he gives me Peter Pettigrew vibes. I'm not gonna lie, because the first trailer, and this was really good marketing from them, makes it seem like he's like the main protagonist or main antagonist, whatever you want to consider him, good or bad. And then the one with Professor Black, where he was kind of getting pushed around, made it seem like he was a little bit kinder of a person, but it also makes it seem like he'll kind of turn on anybody just to kind of get in favor with everybody. So if he's helping you, who knows if it's for Ranrock or if it's for the Ministry or who it's for. He's just kind of getting pushed around. So I don't think he's going to be a villain. I just think he's getting pushed around.
Well, speaking of villains, who do you guys think the big baddie of the game is?
Poppy.
Well, that's a given. Okay, fair.
Like
I guess.
like I was saying in the trailer yesterday, it was interesting that Rockwood was shown more than Ramrock. But yeah, I still think there might be a third sort of like guy out there that's pulling the strings from behind that has got Ramrock, who's put Ramrock and Rockwood together, because I don't think they'd be a partnership. They've come to meet each other. I think there's a guy behind the scenes putting them two in the sort of like firing line.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be way like scarier if you're like you have Ranrock and then you have Rookwood, and you're sort of like Rookwood is like sort of the second man to Ranrock, but like Ranrock still isn't like the most terrifying villain. He's like tiny. he's just he's a goblin. I think if there was like some dark wizard like sort of controlling all these events, and then you're like, oh, like I don't know what's been happening this entire time. I just thought I did. And especially if the dark wizard pulling the strings is like someone you already knew, like that'd be a nuts twist. That'd be insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's very puzzling to see that Ranrock is working alongside another fellow wizard, if you will. And a lot of people are talking about, Ranrock is wants us, or I actually think he's looking for a weapon, if you will, and we are basically the key to that, for him to reach that weapon. What do you guys think Ranrock is after?
I think Ranrock is definitely hunting us, and I think he's after the ancient magic. He wants to bring the wizarding world down. He wants to bring Hogwarts down using the powerful ancient magic.
I think he's after the wand.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's the ancient magic wand. It's always been wands with goblins. They've always wanted wands, and I think the ancient magic wand is some way linked. In the latest trailer, they said something that I thought was quite interesting, because they said, "I'm one of a few people that can access the whispers of ancient magic," or whatever it is. So I don't know if maybe Ranrock can somehow access it, not necessarily as powerful as us, but I don't know. I just think the ancient magic wand is like the ultimate power for ancient magic wielders, and I think he's after that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but going back to the whole thing about because if we open up the Merlin story, right, and we talk about Morgana, is she going to be the big baddie as well, right? But there have been no indications at all in anything that Morgana is part of this quest, right? Which begs the question, why are we accessing perhaps a diary from Merlin or the memories of Merlin, right? What are we after? We all know that Merlin was really the first wizard to completely master an ancient magic, the elements and everything else. Initially, I thought, we're looking for clues so we can master this potential power. But we also know that there is some danger in there, right? And what is that danger? I don't know. Let's see here. Let's look at chat. Johnny's saying Black will still be the headmaster until after Dumbledore leaves school, so we know he is good. But has anyone ever talked about the fact that he has 5 kids? Do you think we could explore the Black Mansion?
No, I don't think
so. I just did a video the other day talking about little things to look out for in Hogwarts Legacy. And one of them is he should have a son at Hogwarts at his time, belonging 1878, Sirius Black. So he should be there as a Slytherin in his 3rd year, if my maths is good. So yeah, keep an eye out for him.
And Harry Potter should be there, right?
Yeah.
Henry Potter.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's there at the same time.
I should have clickbait my video with that, but I'm too good of a YouTuber.
But yeah, no, I don't think we go to that. I don't think we go to the mansion, but I think we'll definitely see a Black about.
Yeah. I wonder how he'd be with his son if he ran into him in the corridors or something. I think he'd be really
yelling
horrible.
at him.
Yeah, I think he'd be hard on him.
So I just thought about this. So we were talking about the the letter that we received allegedly from Mason, right? And it was winter, and it wasn't an acceptance letter. And we were talking about, well, maybe that's our guardian or order receiving some sort of information, right? But the year had already started, right? So are we going to arrive in Hogwarts halfway through the school year? What do you guys think?
There's a couple theories floating around that we're going to arrive late. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it could be as late as a day. I mean, it could be halfway through the semester. That really begs the question then, following that up, is how long is the game going to be? Because if we only start in winter, then are we only going to go till the next September, or are we going to go a whole nother school year? So we're going to finish our 5th year and then start our 6th year. But so I think the further you push it into the school year, the further you have to push it into the next school year. So I think it's going to be summer when we start, whether it's a day later or whatever. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, from the reveal trailer, it definitely looks like we showed up late to obviously at least a start of term feast or something. So we're one coming in by ourselves. Everyone's already seated. But again, we were already in the school robes. I just found that really weird how every scene during the reveal trailer, it was Gryffindor robes on at all times. And see, I could never grasp, is this the beginning? Is this before we're sorted?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to fool us. Like in the cinematic trailer, launch trailer, they're just messing with their minds with the random cutscenes, random parts of the game.
Yeah, because I made a theory on this, but there's been other theories that everybody, when they were wearing the one robe at the beginning, like the petticoat or whatever you want to call it, the tan from the State of Play, that was before you got to Hogwarts. So it's very possible that they saw those videos and went, hey, we have to put them in school robes so they don't know what's before the ceremony or what's after, and it's just going to be for the trailer.
Good point.
Yeah.
So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, if you guys remember from the very first trailer that we got, right, I think 2 years ago, the player walks into the Grey Hall by himself, where there is then it was actually Fig and Headmaster Black, right? It wasn't Professor Weasley.
Yeah.
He's by himself, right? He's walking into the Grey Hall by himself. So I think that attests to what you said, Nightly Nerd, that we might, we might get there. And he's wearing robes. He's not wearing his house robes. He's wearing the typical Hogwarts robes, right? That a first year would wear if they were arriving in Hogwarts.
Which, when you think about it, it's a massive waste of money because they just get some house robes like 40 seconds later.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's like magically they transform or something.
Yeah.
They post that video on YouTube and they get 2-3 million views. The revenue on that video alone is going to pay for the CGI to make that trailer. So
yeah, I mean, director Alan too, he did mention, right, throughout the year, but a lot of people went into that and saying, oh, that's a confirmation that's going to be just 1 year, right? I don't necessarily think that is true. That might be, I don't think it's going to be, what I mean is I don't think it's going to be an exact academic year. I think it's going to be, like you said, we arrive a little later, and even after the academic year ends, we continue doing something. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's been my biggest question. I think that still remains. Obviously, swimming until they confirmed it was a huge question, but as someone in myself who likes to play games that are like base building, world building, I get to continue on in the world after the story's done. How are they going to keep me in the game once I complete everything? Am I going to be able to continue leveling up? Am I going to be able to build a house or do XYZ things? Or am I going to complete every side quest and am I going to be done? Because if that's the case, then it's going to be a big missed opportunity unless they put out like DLC early, which then is another theory. It's when are they going to put out DLC? And I don't think you can put out DLC until you release everything to everyone. So that would be after July.
I think what will happen is the only option that really would make sense is you start sort of whatever point you start in the year, maybe at the beginning, maybe a little bit through, and then the story continues through the summer. Because if you had it sort of stop at the end of school year, then it'd be hard to explain why you're there in summer. If you kept going with the narrative and kept having quests and stuff, they could make that work. And then it sort of like ends at the beginning of the next year, maybe. So then just like the school's alive and sort of operating as normal, and you're sort of living through that year. And maybe the poachers are like less because they've sort of been defeated, but like sort of off in the woods if you want to fight them, and everything's just sort of maintaining in that way. And it's just sort of your next year. Like I don't really see any other way they could do that. Like there's no way they're just gonna be like, oh, you gotta start a new save. Like I don't think I've played an open world game that's done that and ever.
Personally, I think so. I've got some evidence for the first bit, but I haven't got any evidence for the second bit. So I think we're starting literally the same day as everyone else, but we're going to be late to the party, which is why we're being sorted late. I think we just don't make the train, so we have to get there late, similar to Harry and Ron in the second story. We don't see the train in it at all, so I think that's the reason why we're late. The reason why I think that is because in I think it was the State of Play trailer, and the Charms teacher, his name's gone up my head, said this year is going to be exciting, we're going to be learning this, and it seems like he's introducing that to the whole class.
No, that's a good point.
Oh, good point.
To me that feels like it's the first ever Charms lesson. I think the best way in my head that they would deal with the end of story bit would be that the final battle, the final elements of the game would sort of happen maybe a month before term ends, so that you have those final elements of the game. You then finish that side of things, and then you've still got a month left of school before it finishes. That's true. And then you don't get like the final cutscene of you boarding the Hogwarts Express to go home until you've 100% it. That'd be that. That I've got no evidence for that second bit, but that would be the best way I could see it going.
And yeah, games have done that for sure. I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild's the biggest one that's done that. I mean, right before you fight the final boss, or after you fight him, you get put right before fighting him, so you can go explore the world. But what could you do in Hogwarts? I know they said that there's going to be 100 side quests and 600 collectibles, or whatever the actual data is on it. But once you do that, what's the next step? Is a lot of people's question, because like if you look at The Witcher, there's 1,000 hours of gameplay in that game, legitimately. Yes. 1,000 hours.
Yep, 100%.
And it keeps you engaged. And I've seen people comment all the time, I want to put 3,500 hours in this game. I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing? Are you just picking petals off the ground, or are you just exploring, or are you just doing this? And that's my biggest question.
You've got to think about it though. They've got like the elements that are like not story gameplay. Like you've got like the beast section. You've got the room of requirements. There's still gonna be elements like that are going to keep people involved in the game, even if like you've beat all of the poachers and you've destroyed all of the spider nests, and you know, even once you've done all that, there's still gonna be those sort of elements where you can still continue searching, continue getting more resources and building your vivariums and your room of requirements, all that sort of stuff. So I think until the DLC releases, that is what they're going to be banking on people doing a lot of.
Yeah. And I think they'll be banking on people going through with the different houses and stuff like that. Just it's a cheap way to add, to a time and stuff. But I feel like obviously there's 4 houses. People will be doing that to experience the being a Hufflepuff and a Gryffindor and stuff like that.
But here's the thing: if you 100% it with, say, Gryffindor, which will probably be my 100% playthrough. Yeah. Am I going to want to 100% the game with every other
3
house?
more times? Yeah.
No, I'll play probably the 35 hours it takes to play through the main story, see if anything's different. But that extra 70 hours probably won't be put into it.
No.
Question: you're obviously the one about trophies. Do you reckon the platinum will involve us having to play through as all 4 houses, at least the main story? Oh, that's a good point. You've seen it.
Yeah, you have to play as all 4 houses. Yeah. Now, without spoiling much, the trophy is essentially get to XYZ location as a blank, and that's all 4 houses. Now, in trophy lore here, that could be within the first 10 minutes of the game, or it could be 10 hours into the game. So where that is going to determine how long you have to play as each house. So
I said this comment. Sorry, I got excited about that.
Oh, the Christian Gamers comment? Yeah, so Christian Gamers saying, my thinking is the Ravenclaw companion is actually Bathilda Backshot, and that is why they haven't revealed it yet, because it's a spoiler.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get the sense she's a lot old. Do we know when she's born?
To be fair, yeah,
She was in
old
Hogwarts
when Dumbledore goes to school.
Yeah, right.
She was.
No, she's old. Like she's living in Godric Hollow when Dumbledore moved.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like her nephew.
Then.
Her nephew's Gellert Grindelwald, who's obviously dumped. So she's got to be. She's got to be at least 20 something. I reckon at this point.
I didn't see the Ravenclaw thing, but I thought a companion would be Bathilda. But I was basing that on the book. I thought it was going to be Hogwarts history.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that's interesting is I think Ben Snow was talking a lot about the Battle of Hogwarts, right? Because we saw on the Autodesk presentation, we saw the name Battle of Hogwarts there. And it ties into what we're saying about the ending of the game, right? If there is, in fact, a Battle of Hogwarts, and it's ultimate destruction, and, we win or we lose, whatever, how is the game going to be playable after? Right? Because it creates such I don't know, such an ending that doesn't really allow us to continue, other than, okay, it's a new school year, right? We've reached the top, right?
Well, maybe, and this is maybe why the ending is more, maybe the castle does get destroyed, and the reason why they give you a shop is to get money to help rebuild Hogwarts, depending on that. So maybe the 70 hours is rebuilding Hogwarts because it's going to take longer, and you have to do XYZ side quest for this professor and this professor, and you have to build everything back up. That would be interesting if it actually got destroyed to a certain point. But then it's like, if you're playing on Xbox or PC and you don't have that mission, are you going to have enough money?
Not for a year,
so
right? It's locked for a year. Yeah, I mean,
and that's another thing. It's like, I don't think DLC can come out before everyone's got that mission.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Like we were talking about Mason earlier, potentially being the wife, actually Miriam. But if that's such a predominant,
that's what I was
character, right, in the game, no one's gonna be able to see her for a year, right? So how would that work?
True, unless like she's in the game in other situations.
Yeah, you can see her. She just went to play the shop.
Let's go on that theory. Would that mission add a lot about that character then? Or would that just have to be, because it's a PS timed exclusive, it just has to sort of, you don't learn much more about her, you just get this shop sort of thing? Because I don't think if that was the case, you'd be able to have this big experience with her when others can't.
I think watching the previews, you saw, like, the camps have a lot of money. Like, there was, like, 90 galleons at one of the camps. So, I don't know if there's inflation going on and things loaded. Expensive. Yeah, they're loaded. So you never know what it's
we are tipping like 10 galleons.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
crazy.
Using them, like,
that's crazy. I was like, what is this?
And especially like with inflation, like nuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Roaches are rich. We're rich.
Yeah, Merlin Stargazer Tim says something interesting as well. We're hearing rumors that they left a lot unfinished, right, and not on the table to release the game. Thoughts?
Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's something that'll get attention. I don't know where those rumors are coming from. I'd have to know the source, and I'd have to like get some actual like developers or something saying that, because something like that'll get you likes and attention. So I don't really trust anything that like is a good attention getter. If you just like release a small little detail about like some animal that's in the game, I might believe it more than like, oh, it's this big thing. But
so this is partially coming from the Luke Stevens video. I don't know if any of you guys watched it. The kind of sort of kind of beef between him and Alex. Responding to each other's videos. In his original video, he said WB is notorious for leaving things out and selling them as DLC, i.e., the Dark Arts Battle Arena, which is a fair point. So if WB is doing that, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but they also did, 2 other arenas. It's not like they're like, oh, the only arena you have to like pay for.
But that's leaving out content to then sell it for an extra $20 when it's already finished. It's not like they still need to finish the Dark Arts Battle Arena and then they're going to sell it to you in 2 months. This is finished and they're making you buy it. Yeah.
I think I'd be annoyed if we was getting a 30-hour game with 40 hours of completion. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
when we're getting a full game, then make the money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what they've shown us, and the amount of stuff that's in the game, it's not as though they're leaving it. They're leaving us short as such. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing that I think that Dark Arts Battle Arena does is allows us to use the unforgivable curses in it. The other battle arenas are still going to be just as good. We're still going to be able to practice our fighting in it. It's not as though they're intentionally, leaving. The only reason I bought the extended version is to play it early, and obviously they just put us on that now. But
I'll probably never use any of that stuff.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the battle arena didn't mean anything to me. It was just a nice add-on.
And that should be ended anyway. That's been going on for the last 15 years. That's probably when it started about you could buy early access to the certain editions of games, and it kind of splits your player pool. It was worse with multiplayer games. The single player game, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we know that there are 4 battle arenas, right? And 2 of them are locked to those who have gotten the...
There's 4? I thought there were 3.
No, there's 4.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the 4th one?
Yeah, I thought you said 2 and then the one, the battle arena.
Yeah.
I thought there was two that basically we can access as the getting the digital, but then you get 2 other ones.
It's just the
Dark Arts and then 2 normal in the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's 3 total.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's what Alan said, at least.
Pepwork TV5. Do you reckon we'd be able to fly a dragon? What do you guys think about that?
I don't think it'd be a mount. I think a story sequence, almost definitely.
Dracarys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in a particular quest where we get to ride it. I don't think we will be able to pull it out at any time.
It's a dragon.
I really hope we
on your
can.
bag.
I mean, if we could, it'd be an end game thing, like right at the end, sort of. If you complete the game, maybe even something daft for like 100%. Games reward you with stuff for that. Maybe a dragon, you can fly around the world with it now. But yeah, I don't. And if you did have it, I doubt you'd be able to be breathing fire, like burning down hamlets or anything like that.
Yeah, it just seems like a bit much.
I think we'd have to have our care of magical creatures skill really high before we can do that. Probably.
Yeah, makes sense. Are you all streaming the game as soon as it comes out, or who's playing the game first, and not streaming anything?
That's what I'll probably do. I'll probably play the game, be immersed in it, not feel like I have to be entertaining or whatever, just full immersion, and then after a few hours, probably go live.
I did have a plan, which I'm going to now have to rethink because of the release dates, unfortunately.
But no, I am going live, 7 o'clock, whatever it'll be when I get up.
Okay.
Firing up the PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm going to do like a hype, and then when the game releases, and I think I'm going to go for at least 12 hours if I can.
12 hours.
Yeah, it's going to release at 5 a.m. for me, which is so bad. So I'm going to have to wake up, and then I'll probably start at like 1, hype it all the way up, and then I'll play it.
Getting your practice in this morning at least for you, getting up at 5:30.
Mate, I've been doing it for the past month. That's why
I'm going to be streaming an hour before it releases, and I'll be playing it for 24 hours. And literally, the second it releases, I will be playing it straight away.
How?
It's all for charity. It's going to be good. So.
That's awesome, man.
I'll definitely stop by. Yeah.
24 hours. Yeah, 24 hours.
I need someone to keep me awake.
I'll stop by for sure. I'm taking a trip, I think, on the 6th to New Zealand. So I'll probably play by myself for a little bit and then stream on Tuesday.
Isn't that a bit more complicated on the console you're playing on?
No, I have an Xbox.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Xbox Game.
Take a little trip.
Merlin Stargaze, Tim says, we obviously don't know for sure yet, but do you think by the time we hit level cap, we'll have enough skill points to max all the skill trees, or will we have to choose and specialize our build?
I think it was confirmed that there was only 36 skill points. I think that's what's been floating around, and there was 50 skills from the state of play. So, which is kind of annoying to me that as someone like playing Assassin's Creed games, when you get 50 skill points or 50 skills unlockable, I want to be able to unlock them all. I know it's kind of to fit you into a category, but as long as you can respec, I'm fine with it.
Some of them might like contradict each other, so
Right.
I mean, we know that we can kind of choose our own combat style and fighting style. Whether that means we have to stick to one, it will be interesting to see. I also hope that we can kind of be a master of everything eventually, but we don't really know too much about that yet.
Yeah, I'm with Nate. I like to unlock all of it. I just recently completed God of War, and obviously getting all the special abilities for all the other weapons and things like that. It'd be annoying if in God of War you could get the axe fully leveled up, but I couldn't get my spear leveled up. I sort of don't like how there's more things to unlock than you can. I know, obviously, it leads into then you having to think about it. But yeah, I sort of like to just unlock everything, be the max sort of powerful guy at the end.
If you haven't played God of War, that spear might be the best weapon in any video game.
Honestly, at the
if
end.
you haven't played it.
Just sorry, what did you say the amount of skills we learn are and what levels we get?
I think it was floated around that there was 36 skill points available. Now, I don't know when you start getting skill points.
Okay.
But from the state of play, I believe we counted one time on stream. I think there was 50 between the 5 tabs. The original state of play, it showed you traits.
Yeah.
I think we counted that there was 50 possible. So if you only get 36 out of 50. Now, this was floating around on Twitter, so it might be totally false. But I don't know.
But would learning a new spell count as a trait? Do you reckon we would learn those spells instantly?
So what are the traits considered?
Yeah,
so the trait would be like upgrading that spell, because obviously we see like Incendio going from like normal to area effect to potentially fire tornado. So
beast mode.
Yeah,
fire tornado.
Some people are also concerned about the PC, and since we don't know what the UI is going to look like or controls. It's true they have really focused on PlayStation, right? And there's a lot of people who are going to be playing on PC and have no idea how that's going to work. Unless, of course, if you're part of the dream team, if you will, who are probably playing the game right now as we speak.
Yeah. I have to say this, and like I just said, I have every console, so I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's just I've played them all. PlayStation has the best games. It's just a fact at this point. Like it's just purely game speaking, PlayStation has the best games. So if PlayStation's backing this game, it has to be good. Like it's very rare that PlayStation backs a game that isn't any good. So I think the question you're kind of getting at is, are you going to be able to use a controller on PC? Is it mouse and keyboard? What's going to be the keybinds? What's going to be stuff like that? I think that's a huge miss that they haven't talked about already. Like, why haven't they just announced, hey, you can use a controller? Because I know when I'm playing my PC, there's sometimes I can't use a controller and you have to go through backdoor DualSense for whatever apps you have to pull up. So I think they just need to announce it.
See, I'm completely opposite now. I'm really concerned I'm going to have to play it on PlayStation, because I haven't played like an aiming game on my PlayStation for probably a good couple of years. Like the only games I play on my PlayStation, like story-esque games without like a shooter element to it at all, and I cannot aim on my PlayStation anymore. Like, I'm really concerned. And talking about the key bindings, like I use like an MMO mouse. I've got like 12 buttons down the side of my mouse, I want to be
Oh
able to
my.
use them. I don't
Oh,
like using my left hand. My left hand is useless when it comes to gaming. So I don't like using the extra buttons there. I like using my thumb on the thing. So I'd like to be able to keybind it. And yeah, as you said, it's just a missed opportunity. They just haven't announced anything about the PC side of things.
Other than
Yeah.
Just hand controllers.
Yeah,
I'm
as,
not
a,
gonna
as a
lie.
PC player, I do kind of feel a bit left out, to be honest. I
Mhm.
don't want to sound so negative, but it is the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually intending on playing it on PC. I actually bought a really good computer in order to play it, and then PlayStation came
Yeah.
out and showed all of the haptics of their controllers and the extra quests, and I was like, okay, now I have to buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was.
it's so frustrating. Sorry, I am gonna go on around here.
Mm.
I had to upgrade my specs. I had to upgrade the graphics card, the RAM. Had to upgrade the power supply to power the new graphics card and the RAM in order to stream Hogwarts Legacy, and then to find out I can't play it until more than 18 hours after the console is really shocking. This is the only negative thing I have really had about the game so far. You know.
Okay, so what I would like to do now, my fellow content creators, would be open up the room and let's just talk about Hogwarts. Like, whatever you guys want to talk about, bring up questions, whatever you guys want to discuss. Let's go ahead. My 10 questions that I prepared for this have been answered, and yeah. So let's just open up to the stage to you guys. What do you guys want to talk about?
So I saw one question in the chat that was slightly jumped over, and that was: did anyone else notice that Professor Weasley might be at Animagus in the trailer?
No.
No.
Where did
No.
we see that?
Where
So
did you come out
in the
from?
trailer, right, it shows us walking into her classroom, and then the owl flies past us. And the next scene, you see that classroom. We're still by the door, and then we're walking away from the door, and then she's in the middle of the classroom. And I don't know why, it just gave me sort of McGonagall vibes, where she's like the cat first of all, and then she sort of goes into the middle of the room and becomes the teacher.
So we've got a
like-
transfiguration teacher who is also the deputy headmistress,
yeah.
who's also an
just popped
animagus. We've got
Yeah,
two
yeah.
of them.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the only sort of like unique character out of the teachers is obviously the charms professor, Ronan. I remember his name. Obviously, you've got Herbology professor who's Hufflepuff. You know, I guess it is just a thing of Hogwarts. The sort of characters, you know, with nature you are, the lessons you gravitate to as a house. I don't know, but yeah, they are quite similar in a way. Obviously, grouchy sort of potions professor.
Yeah.
Slivering. So yeah,
Yeah.
there is similarities.
It's funny because as soon as they released Professor Sharp's card, I made a comment to Chandler and I said, "Oh, we got our Snape," and he replied so fast. He was like, "No, there's a right."
Again, not to plug myself, but yeah, I did a video on this quite recently, sort of like the influence, and I think their jobs are quite important in the Ministry as well. They weren't just, you know, no offense to Arthur Weasley, you know, in some office doing some Muggle rubbish. You've got a curse breaker in Professor Weasley, which will be out and about doing things, you know, in these sort of dungeon areas. You've got Professor Hurkett in the Department of Mysteries, who would have definitely studied ancient magic. And then you've got Professor Sharp and Exora, who battled dark wizards, you know, running with these sort of crowds. So I think the lessons they learned from their jobs, I think in extra curriculum, what Professor Weasley's asked teachers to do, I don't think it'll have much to do with schoolwork. I think they'll be teaching us and helping us along in our journey out in the world with their talents from their former jobs.
Yeah, I definitely think it's common. I mean, I work in medicine, and it's very simple for once you're done being out in the field, you just go teach. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys do, but for me, like someday I'll probably end up teaching. And that's just like, I'm done being out there, I'm going to go teach. And that's like the Ministry of Magic. It's like, I'm done being out in Auror. I'm done going out in the field. I'm just going to go teach some kids at Hogwarts and still feel relevant or important. So I feel like it's pretty common. But it is interesting that there's so many of them.
Yeah, Johnny, the House of Buff Russell. Hello, Johnny. Thank you for being here. He says, so I'm still not sold on the fact that we cannot dive. I think we'll actually be able to be submerged under the water. Are you all sold that we cannot dive underwater?
I'm not sold on that. I don't think we will be able to, but it does seem like they locked a lot of things, like certain things you could land on, etc. for the demo. So I wouldn't be like in shock. I know in the greenhouse, there's that little puddle or pond thing, and there's like the stairs that go down, and there's like a window, so you can like look at what's down there. And when Wizard PhD asked, "Can I swim?" They're like, "Hey, go look down there." And so she like they didn't like tell her. They're just like, look down at what's under the water, below the thing. So like maybe that's just you can go down there just to see it, but like it's weird. It's weird that they told her to like go look at this thing when she asked that. Yeah, I don't think it will, but I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, I'm not convinced it's not in.
I think.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, I think it could be DLC. I think there is so much water there. It doesn't make sense for us not to be able to go underneath it. We can see, is it the dug bugs? I'm not sure how I pronounce that. Jumping out of the water at us. We've seen those little red markers on the mini map, so we know there's enemies in there. We know there's things we can explore. In the lore, there's mer cities underneath the Black Lake. I think Hogwarts Legacy Black Lake expansion would be pretty perfect. It's already set up, as with the Quidditch pitch, the flying the Quidditch pitch is there. The groundwork is laid for the expansion. I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and there was the dungeon entrance in the middle of the river. Like everyone's like, oh, you know, it's in because there's a dungeon entrance in the middle of the water. And then the previews came out and everyone's like, well, I guess not. But I think it's still like pretty strange. Like, why would you put a dungeon entrance in the middle of the water if you can't go into the water?
There's too many references to water to not have that in the future.
Yeah, they added that the shrine to the giant squid, didn't they?
Yes.
So why, you know, and if you guys remember, there isn't like a little pedestal, if you will, with some squid tentacles rising up where you can perhaps place a book or something. So I'm wondering what that was all about.
I think if they did it, it would be specific story elements at the moment. Like maybe there's a time where you have to use gillyweed or something like that. The only thing that really I think you will do it at some points is obviously, was it the State of Play trailer? And we was just like unaffected, like walking through that water towards like the door. And it's just like, I don't know. There's something weird about that. It's just, why are we doing that? But yeah, I don't know if we're going to just dive in the lake. I don't think that's going to be a thing. But I think there'll be specific times when we're going to be able to go down.
Yeah, this is probably like a bad take, but I saw it in the launch trailer where you're at the beast class and they've got on like the chalkboard, like it looked like to be like a type of sea ancient creature or whatnot, and that was starting to question myself. I was like, maybe that they will add that into the game. I don't know if you'll be able to dive, but maybe you go near the water and you've got like a sea creature at the first. It might come out of the water and first you or something, but just something I saw in the launch trailer on the chalkboard.
Yeah, I think I saw that too. I think it's a mer person. Again, there's so many hints towards it. It definitely
there's a lot of hints.
Go down
Yeah. I mean, that fountain right in the middle of the central hall. I think that's what they call it. So, yeah, I was on the dive train. I was like, there's no way we're not gonna be able to dive. And then they played it and they said, no. We tried. I think a Wizard PhD said, I tried everything. I tried to go down and nothing happened. I could only go faster and slower while swimming. So
I'm betting it's DLC, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean it would be awesome, and maybe that's when they'll release the Kelpie as our aquatic mount. Maybe. I'm not so sure.
I think back to the question earlier, it's are they leaving stuff out? I think if you want to support a game for another 4 or 5 years before releasing a sequel or whatever, like there's been questions, is this going to be more of a live service where there's a Destiny style expansion every 9 to 10 months, or is there going to be a sequel? Like, what are they going to do with it? I think you have to leave stuff out, and that would be Quidditch or diving underwater or whatever you do. Sell it for $30-$40 as a 30-hour expansion. So yeah, I think it's the easiest way. I think it's also been kind of confirmed by people who were at the preview. Like, I know it could have been a dev kit, but I heard that devs said that you couldn't do it. So they could be lying, but
I will sort of say, like, with swimming, with it not being able to go underwater, it's not new, but the fact that in this world, the traversal options you have, in other world games, you have, for example, Red Dead Redemption, where you are just ordinary human. To get across this lake, this river, you either ride your horse all the way around, or you can swim. In this game, we have brooms, we have mounts. Is swimming going to be that prevalent when you can just hop on your broom and go a lot faster? I just feel without the option of going under the water, that you're going to really be exploring it that much. It is just so much faster and more fun, let's face it, to fly your hippogriff, fly your broom. Yeah, I just think it's strange to have it in this sort of game where you can adventure in the Black Lake. Fair enough, but there's not going to be much to see because you can't go under it.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, those are some of the mistakes I think that game developers can make. It's like, oh, well, it's not that prevalent. We don't really need it. Yeah. But like, then if you just walk up to the water and you die, or like, it's like, I don't know, it's a barrier. You'd just be like, oh, this is crap. This is lazy.
No, I get that, yeah.
It is an open world as well, because you have the freedom to do anything that you can do, and that's what I like about open world RPGs. You get access to do whatever you want to do, and you should be able to access most things.
Yeah, there's one thing that got to me though during the showcase was the you couldn't really land in specific points while flying the broom.
I saw that on Lamrax.
That was definitely, to me anyways, that was definitely a miss.
I really think that was the dev kit. I don't think they wanted them, because it would be too easy for them just like to land on, because and in that tweet I made where I said that, and I noticed afterwards that if you look down that area, I basically made a tweet where I posted a picture of wizard PhDs which tried to land on the side of the Great Hall, and down that walkway there were stairs going up to another level. So like, would you put stairs if you're gonna like not have people walk there? It seems it seems weird.
It's possible. I mean, I saw it in a couple other people's videos, but I definitely think it's an odd situation. I think back to the swimming thing though, just for a second, I think it's more likely that they add a Kelpie mount where we can skim the water rather than swimming deep into it. So I think that's just more likely as a DLC than just straight swimming. Now,
I mean, if they do a DLC, all they would have to do is just literally have like the DLC based around, I don't know, water and something else, and then in the trailer, all they would literally have to have is one of our companions go, I learned a really cool spell. This is a bubblehead jump, and that would literally introduce it straight away. So it would just be done as a new spell learn later on.
Yeah, but you're adding a whole mechanic to the game. So then you have to render underwater. You have to like you have to do so much more. Than
it would have to be a DLC.
It would literally be a 30 like a 20 to 30 gigabyte download.
Yeah.
It's changing the fundamental aspects of the game. It's essentially like adding a new map to Fortnite. Like you would change everything.
But saying about it being lazy and all that sort of stuff, like I wouldn't want them just to let us go underwater if there's nothing there. I want it to be a purpose to us go underwater. Do you know what I mean? Like I want like with this expansion pack, you could obviously then introduce like new potions because there'd be new ingredients you can collect under the water.
You could do like new quests
and like new quests and like so there would have to be a purpose behind it. I wouldn't want them to just at this point in the game turn around and go, well, we've made the underwater, let's just put it in for the sake of it.
I think something I saw that kind of bothered me, and this has been in games, and I think I've been one of the hardest people on this game just because I don't want to set myself up just because Cyberpunk burned me so bad. Like I wanted Cyberpunk to be good so bad, and I actually ended up playing it this last year because it's actually good now. The mechanic of holding L1 or the left bumper and then hitting circle to get out your mount seems very archaic, not to just be a hotkey button. Like The reason they're doing that is because you have 3 mount possibilities, and you hit L1 triangle, L1 square, or L1 circle, and it can pull up one of your 3 mounts. For instance, GTA, the way they do it is you can call whatever car you want, but then the next time you hit right on the D-pad, that car shows up. So if you hit L1 circle to pull out your broom, the next time you hit right on the D-pad, the broom should just show up. I shouldn't have to go into the menu every single time I want the broom. Just seems very like archaic of a mechanic.
Yeah, I mean,
agree.
There's that clip where I forget what this is in. Maybe the behind the scenes, the music. They jump off the platform. Jump off the platform and then take out the broom, and like the menu didn't pop up or anything.
Right.
So,
Andy Reloads had that, and I was watching his video, and I was like, "Oh shoot, there is a hotkey." And then if you slow it down really fast, like really, really slow, you can see he edited out the menu.
Yeah, they all did that. I mean, some of them did that. Some of them just like left in menus. It's weird.
I think they were saying they had to just because of other stuff that it may have shown in the game that the developers just didn't want people to see stuff. I think I was explaining that on Alex. He was saying that on Alex's stream last week. He had to he wasn't allowed to show anything from any sort of menus.
It was, Andy showed all the spells, and then Ben showed the quest menu. Breaking their kind of an NDA, but
he's our hero.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for me, and like James Ling is saying here, I think they only were allowed to land in places because this was a highly guided gameplay. And I get that 100%. It was a dev kit, right? And I really do hope that when the game is released that I am going to be able to land, wherever I want and potentially die painfully.
I would be really.
Yeah, I love that.
Right, that'd be so cool. The other thing too that kind of worried me was some players would basically ascend and they couldn't really top Hogwarts, right? That was like the max altitude. And I wonder if that had to do with the ability of the broom itself, right? Because we know that we're going to be able to upgrade the broom, and the boost bar maybe got depleted and we couldn't keep going up. I hope that's the case, and I hope and I know that there will be a cap of sorts, right? But I really do hope that it's not right where Hogwarts is. It'd be so cool to kind of go up to the clouds, if you will, a little bit, because they did talk a lot about the weather and everything else. So I'd love to see that.
Yeah, from what Alan and the guys were saying in Ben's showcase, it's more like your mounts are the ones who go high altitude, the broom's just for low traversal, just skimming sort of the ground. So again, you obviously grab your hippogriff and try it more than have a broom, I guess. But it's a bit strange with the brooms. I know they're saying it's 1890, the brooms aren't as good, but yeah, it's a bit odd that I'm trying to make a difference. But yeah, I think brooms should be have that ability really.
Yeah.
I think as we get towards the end of the game and we kind of get the best broomstick that is in the game and we unlock that one, it would be good to kind of go, in the Prisoner of Azkaban where Harry's up there in the clouds in the thunderstorm above the Quidditch pitch. If you could go to that kind of level, so you were just at the start of the clouds, then you can kind of swoop down. That would be really cool, but I think you would definitely need to unlock the best broom in the game.
That'd be something to look forward to, right? Versus just going fast or going slower, right? Going higher altitudes would be definitely a plus for me, especially because it's this game is obviously not Elden Ring level, right? Elden Ring is built upwards, if you will, but we do have a lot of mountains and we do have a lot of hills and whatnot, right? And it would be very cool if we could just hop on the broom or on a mount and just overfly them, and but then again, I don't know what the boundaries of the game will be.
Yeah, I just want to mention, kind of going off track here, but the way they've done the Scottish Highlands in this game is incredible. It looks so realistic. It looks exactly how it should do, and the nature is beautiful. I remember when they released the teaser for Jump, the little video. I was so excited about the trees in the background. So I can't wait to get immersed in the nature.
Yeah, Merlin Stargazer Tim says they show the ability to not only fly, land in water, but to mount up and fly out of the water, which suggests a few things, not least of which is the ability to land in previously forbidden places.
It was probably just because of the dev build, honestly, and we've
Yeah.
gone to that. Times,
I think
but-
it's exactly it.
It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. That'd be most like brain dead developer decision of all time.
Because I think
Makes
I was
no sense.
watching Joraptors when he like the castle walls, not like essentially the defenses around the castle is thick enough for people to walk on, but you couldn't land there either. So it just seems like a really bad decision, but it's probably just because of the build of the game.
Yeah, and there are certain points that people could land, like one of the towers.
Yeah, some
Weird.
places they could. Yeah. What do you guys take on the whole thing about the NPCs, if you will, when they're generated, they're not really, interacting with us in a way. I know that many games out there, right? If you pull out your sword or if you try to attack someone, they're gonna cower, they're gonna do something, right? I didn't see that very much. Matter of fact, some of the streamers was casting, some spell, and the people were just walking nonchalantly as if nothing was happening.
Yeah, I think there's some red flags just with those sorts of things. Like I forget who it was, but someone used stupefy on a pile of books. Books did not move at all. And like in Elden Ring, they like fall down if you touch them. I think interaction wise with the AI NPCs and also just objects is going to be probably disappointing. But yeah, I guess you can't have everything.
Yeah, it hit me because I remember Chandler just saying your spells are gonna be able to interact right with your surroundings and everything else. And there's one scene that they showed when they someone cast incendio on the bookshelf in the library, and it kind of got scorched up and it just came back to normal afterwards.
I
So yeah,
think the thing you got to remember is we don't know at any point where the level of build is that they're showing us. Even in any of the trailers, we don't know where that build was because some of the footage has got like different symbols at the bottom for like the spell wheel and all that sort of stuff. And I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, maybe it's PS4 and PS5," but actually, I think it's just an older build. So I think some of the footage we've seen it could potentially be from a couple of years ago. And again, I think the footage we've seen recently has definitely been from dev builds of this game. So things have been taken out and they have streamlined it to make it run as smooth as possible. So they've taken out animations, they've taken out certain elements of the game. So
I think
we've got to keep that in mind. But at the same time, I'm one for. I don't like it when people say, "Oh, I can't believe I can't interact with that," because I understand there's limitations for games. As long as certain things that, like, and you said about the scorch thing on the books and all that sort of stuff, like that to me is interaction. If I fire a spell and it leaves a scorch mark on the wall, even if it's only for a little while, I would prefer it to stay there. That'd be nice if it stayed there for until I walked away and it unrendered. But even if it's for a little while, especially on like the books, they could explain it as well. The books are magically protected, so you can't burn them down. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
But for me, interaction would be as long as I can see that I've cast a spell in that general direction. That's fine. I would like the NPCs to react, that sort of thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if I cast a spell, books have to fall off shelves. And
yeah, I think with the pile of books, it's like sure there are limitations to games, and if you have too many physics simulations going at the same time, it's gonna hit your performance. But like games like Elden Ring did a pile of books you can knock over. So I guess just like figure it out. I mean, I know they've got a team of executives telling them what to do, but if it's something that makes the game better and makes it feel more immersive, like if you need to delay it, fine, but figure it out. Like figure out how to keep it a steady frame rate. More interaction is better if it boosts immersion.
Yeah, I was just
like
more
that's,
shocked as to how the people around us, they weren't really. You could hear them talking, right, calling us the savior of Hogsmeade, I think, or something of the sort. As we walked about the castle, we heard that multiple times. I didn't. Not much on their end. They're just doing their own thing, right? They're generated to do one thing, it seems.
On that, that, like the thing you talk about, actually happens if anyone's played Order of the Phoenix. When you cast spells, you're around the castle, or at students, when you're casting Wingardium Leviosa or Incendio, students around you will react to them spells being casted, which obviously it's a game from 16 years ago. God, I'm old. But yeah, 16 years ago that game came out, and it was in that one. It's strange how it's not in this one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
I
number
definitely
one
think they
concern there.
left it. I think they just left it out, and whether that's for the dev build or not, but like Last Marauder is saying, I don't think the burning of the books is that big of a deal to me. I think maybe pushing them over is something that would be more important, but
Yeah.
I mean, as a primarily console player, like we're just now getting games that can run at 60 FPS, and I don't know if you saw Joe Raptor's breakdown of the two. I'm gonna probably be playing at 30 because it looks significantly better at 30. So
yes, it was
when you've got a rig that's got a 4090, I mean, you can run at 120 frames per second or 60 frames per second, and you can have the great graphics. But on PlayStation 5, even that's pretty strong. It's going to be hard to run the game. So you adding all those technical limitations, I'm just happy this game runs and looks as pretty as it does. Like
it looks amazing. Yeah, I mean,
at 30.
just when the character 30, when the character got on the broom and the robe mechanics, that was really good. I didn't really like the cape very much.
There's a lot of clipping.
There was a lot of clipping with the cape. The robe looked way better. Like,
if you
phenomenally
haven't
better.
seen, go look at a female character wearing a skirt or dress riding a broom, because she doesn't sit to the side. Like some games will have a female character wearing a horse or wearing a dress or skirt sit to the side on a horse so that it doesn't come up their legs. In this game, she just has the broom between her legs and her skirt is all the way through it. So there is no rendering or anything like that. It's just straight through her skirt. So go take a look at like Professor Lynette riding a broom.
I have to know.
It looks horrible, and that like
Interesting
is something that's more breaking immersion to me than the bookshelf, and that's just getting it done a whole time. But the clipping was horrible. The thing James was wearing, the robe, it was flopping through each other. Oh well.
Going back to like the students, I did see a few repeats of the same, obviously student a lot of the time, and it's like, I understand there's things as twins and triplets, but not whatever you call 10, 6, 7 born at the same time, looking the same person. A lot of Polyjuice potion going around Hogwarts.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. You should be able to. Sorry, you can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think you could just there shouldn't be two NPCs spawning like anywhere near each other that look the
100%.
same. You need to have an algorithm. I mean, they already have some sort of system to spawn these things. You need to have like an ID specified each individual look. If you spawn one, don't spawn the ID again for 30 seconds, and you avoid the issue. Like it's not rocket science. It's just
essentially if-then coding, which is like one of the first things they teach you in coding.
Yeah.
So, and that happened way more often. Like if you look at some of their playthroughs, there were like 2, 2, and 2 all in like a 15-foot walk where there was 2 of the same models 3 or 4 different times, which is probably, again, I'm gonna try to be optimistic, say it's a dev build.
It's gotta be. There's so many things. I'm not being funny. They wouldn't release it if it wasn't a dev build. They wouldn't let the content creators release that amount of footage where we can notice that obviously.
Timeout,
because everything else they've released so far has not been terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like that element of it was awful. Like you could see so many of the same things.
I think it was a state of play. The original troll mission, there was no wall behind the troll on the building. So you're talking about them letting people play a game where there's multiple people not being able to release that when they put out a whole state of play without walls. So I don't put anything.
I mean, to be fair though, since they have fixed that.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's not past the realm of possibilities that the same people that released things without walls would give you a dev build that has people next to each other, or just that's the game.
Yeah, I mean, that is.
Sorry. My number one concern there, Les Marauder, is I get it. let's just say, yeah, it was a dev's build, right? And that's what they were playing because they wanted to limit everything. At the same time, they're releasing this information to the world a week before launch.
All right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is showcasing the game. Why would they showcase limitations of the game?
Exactly.
That's my concern about it.
And it was a dev build. Like, that's not a question. It was 100% dev build. But yeah, like, why would it be outdated? Why would it have limits? Because everyone's just going to see this and be like, well, maybe I don't want this game. This is kind of, and I've had comments like that, like, oh, well, I was going to get it, but after seeing this stuff, it just sort of looks lifeless, not enough interactions. There's weird visual issues. Like, I'm probably not end up getting it. So, like, you're losing sales because, like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me to do something like that's outdated.
Yeah. I mean, we all know the game, the landscape, right? The fog, the weather, the mountains, the vegetation, like the Purple Witch was saying, looks absolutely beautiful, I think, right? It looks stunning. But there's definitely a few things that need to be, and I was hoping that they did that to get the feedback from the world.
Yeah,
so they could potentially fix it on day one patch or in future patches.
Yeah, there's a lot of contradictions there because we're talking about, there's not really enough interactions. And if you watch Ben Snow's, I think it was his most recent video talking about the fire tornado and other like combat things, when he did a certain spell, there were like pots on a shelf that like rattled, like you could see them shake a little bit. So it's like some parts is like, well, these books don't get knocked over. And other parts are like, wow, like, that's a high attention detail. These like little pots are rattling, which is completely unnecessary. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they have the eye for detail to either fix it post-launch or fix it for launch. I think they have the talent to make it happen. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people, we've been talking about mounts and brooms and whatnot, but nobody's really talking very much about the Flu Flame network. Right? Ravenwolf here says, I wonder how quickly the Flu Flames speaking will get repetitive or annoying. I don't know if she's going to be saying the same things over and over again. I would doubt that. I think she probably has a script of sorts, but I don't think it's going to be the same things over and over again. It would be interesting if she would speak something about the location, the different locations, like a little,
Fun
tidbit
fact.
about the location, a fun fact. Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. But how do you guys think that's gonna work? Because it seems you pass by one, you activate it, right? So are we just gonna have flu powder and just go right away, right? Do you guys think the map is gonna pop up and we're gonna be able to choose what locations we're gonna go to? How do you guys think it's gonna work?
Yeah, that thing is like very canon breaking. Like Harry Potter wasn't running around these little Flu Flame teleporting things. There's definitely like a very, this is a video game, we have to figure this out sort of thing. In my opinion, I think it would have been like 30 times better if you would have walked up to a fireplace and there would have been a little flu powder thing, and you could go to any other fireplace in the game and just make sure there's fireplaces put throughout the world in places you want to teleport to. I think that would have been a lot better. I think it would be probably just straightforward. You click it sort of opens the map, and you just click another Flu Flame bit you've unlocked.
I do think from what we've seen so far, I think there's too many for my liking. It seems like there's one, like, I think I remember the divination tower, it seemed like 3 within like 25 seconds, 30 seconds of each other. It's just like, do we need this many? And obviously, are they talking at all times? Because imagine in that little thing, just Ignatia Wildsmith going each one, it could become annoying. But yeah, I think it's a bit overkill. Like Lamrock, I'd have preferred it connected to fires, so you can go to different common rooms. You can go to a classroom, for example, and then in the open world, Hogsmeade. Yeah, I understand it in a sense. But again, I know the map is leaked today. I'm not seeing it. I don't know how actually big it is. But I think it could be a bit overkill, these flu powder networks. I feel there is quite a lot of just dotted around the world. Again, in the Ben's state of play thing, he did the showcase. There was a lot on the way to the Hamlet and things. I think 2 or 3 again. So yeah, I do think it's a bit overkilling how many we've got.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that random Hamlet, right? And was it Ben's showcase with a flu flame network there. Just
Yeah,
a
I mean,
regular
It'll
hamlet.
just be like a random like arch, and there's a flue flame for the arch in the middle of nowhere. It's like, okay, come on. Like I'd rather spawn in the hamlet and then go to the arch. Like I don't want to like just this random path, a flue flame.
Did
Yeah,
they
it-
confirm that we can flue flame to every single one, or not? Or was it just area markers? Or they confirmed that literally every
The
single
ones
one we
with
can
the
actually
flue flames you can go to.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know if
And-
it was just like area markers. Then there's certain ones that you could actually like, you know, you can just go to this village, or you know, what I mean, like, I didn't know if that was a big...
Looking at Lamrack's 100% correct. Like this is a video game thing. Like that's 100% what this is. And sure, it breaks immersion, but like the collector in me is like, thank God, honestly, because first of all, playing God of War and getting those and having to go clearing everything is miserable. First of all, because you don't have a broom and you can't fly.
No.
It's miserable.
Yeah.
And even the fast travel, having to go from fast travel to fast travel to fast travel to another fast travel to fast travel, it's miserable. So having more of them as an option for people to use is good for me, who wants to collect everything. But I definitely get where you guys are coming from. I think it's a positive thing. I think a lot of people have talked about, you know, are we going to have to build this resource to get flue powder to be able to use it? And I think that would be a little bit much, but it's still, I think it's a positive thing to have.
I think the other thing, like you say about it being a video game thing, like it is a video game. Like adapt to the format that you're on. If you like look at The Last of Us, what they did with the episode 3, you know, is adapt into the TV series and just made it better. But like this is a video game, so we know there's going to be things in this that are not going to be fully to lore and that sort of stuff, which I'm happy with. Yeah, the teleporting element is fine. It needs to be in games, especially games of this size. I don't think I'm going to use it too much, unless it's sort of really late on. It's just like, I want to get this mission done. But I think most of the time I'm going to spend it exploring. And in regards to actually talking elements of it, I don't think they're going to talk all the time. I think it's going to be every now and again there'll be a line. What I would really like to see is sort of similar to the GTA games is portraits or potentially the flue flame locations talking about things that we've done, because I always used to like that in like the games where you put the radio on and you'd have like a news report and you'd be like, oh, that was me. So yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think frankly they're just trying to cater to everybody in a way, right? Because there's a lot of people who want to be able to fast travel right away to collect things, you know, like Nightly Nerd was saying. And there's, you know, people like myself who probably play without the map, and you know, because the map just confuses the hell out of my head with all the icons and everything else. And there are people who are like in between, right? And you don't have to use them, right? If you find them, you don't have to use them. You can just fly. Whatever you want to do, you can do, right? Merlin Stargazer Tim says, I'm too much of a resource farmer. I'll probably spend my time running or on a ground mount exploring and grabbing plants and such for my potions and crafting. Yeah, and there's so much you can do in this game, right? You can just hop on the broom and just go effectively anywhere you want. Mount as well, right, with less limits, if you will. And with the flue flame, there's a lot of traveling options, if you will, in this game. So
I think that hints towards the map being a lot bigger than we think it is as well, definitely.
good point.
Also, the most impressive thing I think to me is if this game's a 7 or an 8 out of 10, it's probably going to be one of two reasons why it's either held back or better than it is, because it's impressive that they're making this game for people who aren't usually playing video games. And it's to draw to the appeal of the people in the wizarding world. So when you put flue flames and different forms of travel in, maybe someone's not good at controlling the broom, so they want to fast travel or just run. Running takes too long. It's 1.7 kilometers away or whatever the game measurements are. So you don't want to run that far. So I'm a non-gamer. I want to fast travel there. And I think that's so impressive that they're building a game that is appealing to so many different people.
I mean, when they showed the Vivarium for the first time and the fact that you can customize the room of requirement, right? You can play Newt's Commander, you can play The Sims, you can play an Aura. I mean, the amount of things that they allow you to do is insane. That I think that is the the strength of the game is its ability to give people, the potential to do what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
Even though there are limitations here, and there are, and there will be, right? No game is perfect. I keep telling people, right? There will be things that I don't like that a lot of you don't like, right? But there are going to be things that we really, really enjoy. I personally think that the strength of this game is the story, right? They've invested they've invested so much in the stories. Just looking at Sab's side quests and Poppy's side quests, right? And super excited to hear more about Natty's side quests, right? And the unknown Ravenclaw companion, if there will be one, who knows at this point. But
do you guys think that they haven't done a good job of showing off the game? Because in some ways they have, but in other ways they haven't. I think one of the best showcases of the game still is the state of play, the gameplay reveal. Because you got like the Hogsmeade shops, you got all these different interesting environments, you got these interesting puzzles, and then after that, it's been like, oh, we're gonna walk down this path, and we're not going in those houses because we don't want to show too much. We're not gonna go in this room in Hogwarts because that'd be showing too much. We're not gonna land on here because it's gonna show too much. And then they've been like doing that like for a while, and it's like, okay, like maybe we could just like see, like, I mean, now it's too late, but like I think we could have seen a lot more, and they could have shown off more that maybe more interesting. Because I feel like the game, there's a lot under the surface that we don't even like not only know about, but like don't know a lot about that they could have shown. And I feel like just because of the way they've been presenting it, it sort of felt very surface level, not very in depth, not a lot to see, even though I don't think that's the case. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think the map is bigger than we do think it is, and it has been very secretive. And I totally get what you mean. They've shown a lot to us. I've never seen a game that's marketed this much before with the community side and everything. But then it does feel like sometimes it's not a lot that we actually get to see. So I do get where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I think it was you, Lost Marauder. Yes, in your video, it's like we've seen so much, but we don't know nothing still.
Yeah, 100% true. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think they have the dev team, well, more the publication team, like Chandler and that, have done the best job for any game that I've seen, because they've showed you enough to build hype that everyone is speculating about it. Everyone is saying, oh, look at that, did you notice this? And we, like us, that make these videos about it, and they are letting us run with our theories more than anything, and they're even fueling a lot of these theories just to add hype to the game when they don't actually show hardly anything off at all. But every single trailer they've released has shown something new and something quite substantial. I think they've done an absolutely fantastic job with the promotion of it and showing so much but showing nothing. And I can still play this game, and I've gone through every single trailer frame by frame, and I can still go through this game, and I'm excited to go through this game. I can still go through it and not know what's going to happen. That is incredible.
This is the best marketed game of all time, and it is slightly ahead of two games that, one that I adore, which is Destiny. When Destiny was being marketed, that was by far the best marketed game. They were promising so much stuff, it was insane. And then Cyberpunk, which was a flop at least at release. So I mean, there's a 50-50 shot that this is actually going to come out and be good, but I think it will be, because like you're saying, there's a bunch of crap we don't even know about. But this, by far, whoever's doing the full marketing, whether it's Eric or Chandler or whatever, he needs to be paid.
Yes, so good.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
I mean, just think about the orchestra, right? That alone was insane, right? And showcasing that to the viewers, and then calling a selected team of creators to come and do the showcase, right? And then do the gameplay. This is new, right? Companies don't do that when they release games, if you will, right? Their ability to increase the hype with so little information amazes me. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job, not giving you the story, because I mean, sometimes you watch a trailer for a game and you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly what this game is going to be about. Right?
More often than not recently. More often, even movies, like you can watch a trailer and know what the movie's about most of the time. Like
100%.
Because
you're
you have
watching
to
like,
at this point.
I know the ending.
There's so many games that are coming out that people have to choose which game they want to play. So it's forcing marketing to literally be like, we have to show them what this game is so they buy our game. Whereas this game has the backing of the Wizarding World, so they could literally make this game you just walking around the castle and it would sell if that's how they marketed it. Like if they just marketed this as like a walking sim, people would buy it. But their marketing is so much more.
But there's other franchises that could do that and they don't still. Like if you look at like even the Spider-Man trailer for Spider-Man 2, like we already know two of the main villains in that. Like instantly know two of the main villains in that. I know we've got Ranrock and we've got thingy, but Rookwood, but we don't know if they're the main villains. We still don't know that. Do you know what I mean? We don't know what extent they're going to be, and there's so many franchises that have got this massive like backing behind them still, and they just you pump out a trailer and it's just everything's given away, and I think they've just done an incredible job.
Yeah, and James Ling here, he summarizes pretty good. I think the way they have marketed the game and been so transparent shows they have a lot of confidence that they have made a good product, and I think that's hitting the nail on the head right there.
So I saw a very interesting take. It's concerning that the review embargo is going up less than 24 hours before the game is coming out, because usually if you're confident in your product, it's going to come out a couple days. So people who are on the fence about buying it will go pre-order it. Either their pre-order numbers are so high they don't really give a crap, or they're weary about it. I don't know what the reasoning is before that. It's a very quick turnaround. Usually it's 3 to 4 days before they release the review embargo.
Yeah, we know the pre-order numbers have been like extremely high, so that's definitely a good point. I don't think they need to worry.
Yeah,
it's the number one on Steam across the board.
Yeah.
The other thing is, there's obviously not to go into it, but there's obviously the other side of the whole controversy elements around the game. So that could be a tactic around that side of it more than anything.
Yes. It's going to be. And I mean, it's going to sell. And I was talking to another creator privately about something, and I had made a comment about, hey, I think this game in the next 5 years is going to sell 20 million copies, and it's hard to do. And they kind of just like joked around, and I was like, go ahead and screenshot this, and when it sells that much, I'm going to send it to you, blah, blah, blah. How many people here have bought multiple copies just in this chat, in this thing? It's like, I'm probably buying 2, and then I'll buy one when the Switch comes out, and then I'll buy one maybe I want to try it on like every console. So it's like I'll buy a PC one, or I think I'm getting a code for a PC one from a different company, and it's like I'll get one to try out mods. So it's like, how many versions of this game are going to be sold or go out or XYZ? So it's going to sell. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I know some of my viewers have said they're buying it, and then they're buying their kids a copy as well, so they can play it together. And it's the fact that it's one of the, if not the biggest franchise of all time. It's going to bring in hardcore Harry Potter fans who aren't gamers who aren't Harry Potter fans but love open world games. It's got that massive potential there.
I mean, people have bought consoles. It's okay. People have bought consoles just for Hogwarts Legacy, right? This guy. I had the Xbox Series X. I had my PC, and I was perfectly happy. I had the PlayStation 4. I was perfectly happy. And then Hogwarts Legacy showcased, the PS5 extras and whatnot. And I just said, you know what? I think I'm going to drop $500 on this, right? So effectively, this game is not $70. It's now, $600, right? And there's a lot of people across chat, across the social media platforms, a lot of people who have done. I mean, James just bought a brand new computer, right? A souped up computer. So
I bought a graphics card.
Yeah.
I had to redo half my PC.
when eventually my deluxe or collector's edition will get here. I don't think it's shipped yet. It'll
Yeah.
come at some
So
point.
so did you buy it with GameStop, Nightly Nerd?
Yep.
Yeah. So I called them.
Mhm.
And they basically gave me the runaround. Oh well, we don't really have it yet, and we're gonna, as soon as we do, we're gonna send you an email. And I said, well, this game is releasing on the 7th. I'm supposed to get the copy by the 7th, right? So ideally on the 6th, right? Today's Thursday.
They would usually do it 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern that day. Like when I got my the DualSense Edge, someone gifted it to me. It came at like 9:30 in the morning on release day. So that's usually about the time it would come if it was a collector's edition.
I'm thinking they're probably going to ship out tomorrow, Friday, over the weekends to get here on Monday.
We'll see. I mean,
At least that's what he said. So we'll see. We'll see if that's true. I bought a PC version. Yeah, I bought a PC version for it. Just
I might give
Just to
away
be
my steelbook case here though, because I'm not a physical game person. So we might have some discussions about that, because I don't like my PS4 took off when I started putting discs in it. It started sounding like a jet engine, so I don't really want my PS5 to sound the same. I don't think it will, but I don't know. I might be giving that away.
Anybody else got the collector's edition?
No, it never
No,
felt
not
worth it.
me.
No,
Yeah. 3. I mean, the price tag.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Ooh.
that's another thing.
Ridiculous.
PC people, the
Ooh.
collector's edition, doesn't really
20
make
bucks
sense
cheaper.
because you can't get
Well,
the disc.
here's the thing, right?
True.
So, yeah. So, I just actually did a video not too long ago about unboxing the Harry Potter Magic Caster wand. And my thumbnail is literally the wand pointing to a trash bin.
I saw that video.
Because it was I don't know if any of you got that, but it was not up to code.
Really?
Yeah, nothing was working. So the reason I'm saying this is that is a product, right, from the franchise, if you will. And if I get and I paid $300 for the collector's edition, and I get a plastic book with a plastic wand, that's gonna
trust me, I'm
That's
gonna be
what you're
honest.
getting, but
Yeah.
yeah. I'm eternally hopeful.
for you think they're gonna add more stuff to it?
No.
No, I don't think
I
they
don't.
will.
I'm just wondering.
I just hope that the book is at least resin.
It's not. It's plastic.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be brutally honest about it, because I've been honest about it the whole time, that it's kind of pathetic. But I mean, I don't know. I've got a bunch of crap around my room, so it's just going to add to it. I've got a whole wall in front of me of stuff, and it's just going to...
The fact that they didn't put acceptance letter in the
True.
collector's edition is
A lot of
just
people
like
said
the
that.
most tone deaf thing
Mhm.
of all time, and like an actual wand.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just put it in there.
Oh.
Right
That's
here.
cheaper than a
Yeah,
plastic
so
book, and
easy.
it's better.
I think I saw your video on that. Your wife got you the custom
Yeah.
whatever, and that was
Yeah.
worth $300, and it was significantly more worth it than the...
It was $295 total, and
Yep.
she got everything from the official New York Harry Potter store.
Mhm.
It was 2 massive wooden cases with my name engraved on it, and a scarf, a butterbeer, the letter. There's so many things. The game, right? I added the price tag of the game, and it was still cheaper than what they're giving us, right?
Yeah, it's not
Considerably
Nope.
cheaper. So the only reason I got it, 100% content. I want to be able to open it. I want to be able to show what it's going to be all about.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that it's going to be very much like the Magic Caster one situation.
Mhm. Yep.
I literally have a floating wand here. It's a pen and it floats, and it's exactly the same. And it costs like 15 quid. It literally sits on this and it floats with magnets. And there you go. It's
Oh my
floating.
word!
Ladies and gentlemen,
And it looks better.
Hogwarts
That's better,
Legacy.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. And like
I know, that actually looks
the
real.
the plastic book with the plastic wand. That wand like doesn't really float in the middle. It sort of just like floats up to like offset
side.
from the middle. It's
Yeah.
just, it's
For me, it's just the fact that you have to plug it in. It totally gets
Yeah.
rid of the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
and you have to
uh,
put it somewhere
like-
special.
Arthur Weasley would have loved it. So.
Yeah, true. He would have.
Yeah, some people was asking where Expect to Go is. Expect to Go is probably playing the game now as we speak, everybody.
2 hours in.
Both Ben and Expect to Go were supposed to be on the stream for those of you who just got here, but unfortunately they had to cancel last minute. They were 100% extremely apologetic. They truly wanted to be here and interact with everybody. They felt really, really bad. But, you know, they gotta do what they gotta do. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Angela Niffler. There it is. Good. At work, TV5 could have come with Duracell batteries instead of the wire, the charging wire or whatever.
I mean, if
Yeah,
it's a
this
magnet,
bright
does it
white
need power?
wire.
Magnets don't always need power, right?
What? How is your thing powered? The floating thing.
It's not. It's literally a magnet.
There's no power.
No,
No
No,
batteries.
there's nothing
It's just
in it.
two
It's just-
repelling batteries.
It's
this
magic.
little bit of glass at the end has got a magnet inside it, and it just literally floats.
Amazing.
That's
lost it.
hilarious.
This,
How
yeah,
much
this
battery
has
is that?
literally got no power. Like, yeah, I don't think it has. I didn't put batteries in it. No, it's just. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
just a magnet.
Magnets don't need power, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Some
magnetized.
do, but it depends on like the electro.
Yeah, there's electromagnets and that, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is not.
You don't need
powered.
that to float a wand. Like that's like strong.
Right.
Magnet.
Yeah, a plastic one. You know.
Yeah, should add that.
I'm missing out.
Marauder,
heck?
you need to go and show that to the merch director.
You 100%. And
I,
did you guys?
I shared it on a short, and I'm trying to. Like, I put a link to my specific Amazon to try and make some extra money from it. So if anyone
So
wants
I have-
to do it, have a look on my short.
I have a wand here that kind of looks like the ancient magic wand, right? And this is like the Beijing special edition wand, and I'm like, you know, if they could have designed something like this, right, without that bulky magnet right in the middle,
Yeah.
right, to keep it in place, that would have been just so much better. So
Yep.
I don't know who they hired to do that, but you can tell from Chandler's face that when he opens
Yeah,
up
I
the
think he
box-
was a little bit like.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad when they have to advertise the box as an
Yeah.
item.
Yep.
right?
And especially when it's not like a epic wooden box or anything.
So has anyone ever bought like them before, like collector's edition before? Because I've never bought, so I don't know what's normally included.
Yes.
The only
hold
one
on.
I bought was Black Ops 1. And you got like the RC, you have a little car, the little country bomb car.
Oh,
You got
look
that,
at
and that was cool.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow,
And
This
I know-
was
I-
one
incredible.
part of 150, I think it was.
Oh,
I'll
my
grab
word.
something. Hang on.
Yeah.
I know
sorry,
Doom-
there's,
Doom
blood.
included
I don't
a
wanna-
full
I don't want
helmet.
to show that.
that's amazing.
Yeah, Doom had a helmet. Halo back then had a helmet. Did you guys see whoa, jeez, what's the name of that game? Baldur's Gate 3. Their collector's edition. Insane. 100.
Someone's saying to go grab your sword.
$100.
So this came with a bunch of stuff. It came with, for those of you who have played The Last of Us, a steelbook case.
So cool.
It came with one art book.
Yeah,
Amazing.
It came with
there it
a
is.
thank you letter from Naughty Dog. Like,
Yeah, that's so cool.
We're talking about 150 or 170 bucks versus like, and there was a bunch of other little trinkets like pins for the fireflies
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
There's no thought putting into it. It's just
Yeah,
how can
yeah.
we make money?
And look,
So I
I
got
mean, they could have.
So
even
what
the
would you
art
have done?
book-
Oh, easy. I mean, you could have put, I would have put a statue, probably with the castle. That would have been very easy. Or even a statue with just like the book open. I wouldn't have made it floating because that probably is the reason why the price is too high. I mean, I would have done little pens that were wands. I would have
Yeah.
done pins. I would have done a lot of
An
little
actual
trinkets.
wand with a wand box, a letter,
Yeah, yeah.
a little
Like-
golden snitch. You could just literally keep going like all day.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have played Doom. Has anyone heard of Doom?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got the collector's edition. And I got actually this.
I mean, look at
Yeah.
that. Right.
Wow.
And it's
Look
so
at
sick.
that.
Like, you can see in the dark. There's like a little button you can activate, and you can turn off all the lights, and you can actually like it's kind of like a greenish light, and it's like so sick. I think this was like 300 Australian dollars. So I don't know what that converts into US.
Wow.
Probably 100,
So,
150.
but this was like we got the steel case, and we got like a statue of one of the like demons and stuff in there. And it was so sick because like obviously it fits on my head, so I mean I can chuck it on now, but it just looks really big.
So they were released about the same time, that and the God of War one. I didn't end up getting the God of War one. There was 2 different editions of it, which one of them came with a vinyl, and it was like $250. So it's still cheaper.
Yeah.
But like I would have done something like this, like a little Leviathan axe, but like wands, or like a little book,
Yeah, it
like
would've been
just
so cool.
keychain trinkets. I don't know.
Yeah, I was hoping, one of the things that I was hoping for would be the statue of the MC holding his wand, and basically him or her surrounded by the ancient magic, right?
Yeah, you couldn't
That
really do the
swirl.
MC because it wouldn't look like us. So
You
It'd
could have
be-
done that screen
Oh,
though,
any-
like the
anybody.
wallpaper, the hooded figure
Oh, true.
with no
That's true.
face.
Yeah, the hooded
Like,
figure. Yeah.
I
Just
should have
a
added
figure.
like a Quidditch game. Would have been so cool. You can just play. It's like a little board game. You just kind of like flick like a ball into the goals and stuff. So
Yeah,
I always
soundtrack
felt
also, right?
not good about commenting on like because I've never bought a collector's edition, so I had no knowledge. So
It's bad.
I mean, it doesn't seem the best, but
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, like Drake was saying with the mask. I mean, collector's edition. It's funny because here's the thing. As we know, didn't matter. If they had made a much better collector's edition, right, with all of these things that we want, and put a price tag of, let's just call it $500, they would have been more successful, a lot more successful than what how everything turned out to be.
And you could have done it with $300. You could do a lot better one for
Yeah.
less money. I mean, you could do. Yeah.
I proved it, right? I proved,
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
wasn't very hard. So I don't know what the reasoning behind that was.
I think that was a WB decision. I don't think that was
Yeah.
Avalanche, to be honest.
Sure.
And
Sure.
that's sad to say because they've made so many good decisions, and it almost feels like a Respawn EA decision where after Respawn had their
gosh.
first good game, they finally got under the clutches of EA. But if this game's good, I feel like a lot of decisions moving forward will be better because they'll leave them up to Avalanche. It's kind of like taking a bullet at this point.
Yeah, not even the case could have been even make it like a plastic bag. I think there many games they encase the whole package with like a luggage or something, right? That could have been cool, right? Your Hogwarts trunk, if you will. But it's just a cardboard box, with cool art on it, but it's not. I'm not going to be displaying, the case, if you will. So.
True.
Merlin Stargazer Tim says the stuff that comes in those box of the month Harry Potter Club subscriptions has better stuff in them than the collector's edition.
A t-shirt to your size. It has a bunch of pins, wands, stuff like that. And they're $30 a month, 30 to 50, depending on what subscription you use. Like the Accio box, I think is like $50 a month, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, so many different items, keys, wands,
Water bottles.
t-shirts, everything, and it's cheaper, considerably cheaper. So, it is what it is. We're just gonna. They're not gonna change it. I don't think they're. We're not. I don't expect to open up my collector's edition and go, oh wow, they've added the soundtrack or they've added the art book or whatever. I don't think that's the case, unfortunately. So. Yeah.
And they're selling the art book separately. They could have very easily put the
Yes.
art and making of Hogwarts
Yep.
into that,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which I think would have made a lot more people buy it or try to buy it. I know a lot of people are still looking for one, but
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about Hogwarts Legacy? Anything that's hanging in you guys' head that you guys want to discuss?
I don't
Chat,
know how I'm
any
going to
questions?
sleep the night before.
That's a good point.
hot.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know
so
what I'm
here-
going to do in the daytime until 6 p.m.
Yeah.
You can't go to the internet or anything, can't you? Yeah, you'd be full of hiding modes till half
Mhm.
6. Yeah.
Jumping
Yeah,
in chat,
I will have to
jumping in
be-
streams.
Off the internet until 6 p.m.
Yeah, I'm still sort of trying to figure out how I'm going to make this stream happen. Where I'm gonna think, Fallen, you said you're gonna do a hype 1 hour prior.
Yeah.
To the game's
About
release.
4 hours or so. That's what I was planning
4
for.
hours.
Yeah, for the initial like PC release. That's what I thought, because it was going to come out for midnight for us. So I think we would have had the game like, I don't know what the hour difference is, but maybe like 16 hours or so before you guys, something like that. It was going to be a lot before you guys, and now I don't know if our PC one is globally released like as well as for you guys, but I'll be starting my stream at 5 a.m. So, 1 a.m. and then I'll go to hopefully 1 p.m. if I can survive. I have to stock up on a lot of Red Bulls because I don't think I'll be able to survive.
Is
for much long, but yeah.
anybody else streaming on Twitch? No?
No, I mean,
Okay.
you should go.
No.
Yeah, I was planning to.
I've got Twitch. I just haven't really set it up or promoted it. Or
Yeah,
anything.
I took a poll.
I would come
and,
over to your Twitch regularly, don't I? So
see, there you go.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, I took a poll and 92% said they'd rather watch it on YouTube. So I just figured, you know what? Let's just do YouTube.
Twitch has those ads, and honestly, like if you if you have the opportunity to switch, I'm not telling you what to do, but like it gives you better like revenue splits, and also like your viewers don't have to watch. I've gotten 10 ads before on people's account, and that could be 8 to 10 minutes long, and it's just like, oh shoot.
Yeah, it's something I definitely I'm going to think about. I just started my Twitch way before I started my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
you can do the double one, can't you? You can stream on both.
You could.
Yes, just not at the same time.
Yeah, if you're a Twitch affiliate,
not?
you're not allowed to stream the same game within like 24 hours of
I
itself.
didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Well, that's what
only
you
did,
said.
I got, well, I'd say quite big. It wasn't that big, but I was on Mixer when Mixer was about, and you could like stream on everything at the same time. Though.
Yeah.
So I think you could do YouTube one night, Twitch another night, but you can't do both at the same time.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to, if it's a game, especially.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna do sort of what Fallen is doing. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a hype situation, watch some old contents, talk about it live, and then play the game whenever it comes, and then hope that day one patch will be pretty good. We'll see what happens there. All right, well, I would like to again open up the floor to you guys so you guys can say whatever you guys want to do before we end the stream. We're now just hit 2 hours and 35 minutes. I think we've talked a lot today about everything Hogwarts Legacy, and tomorrow I have another stream. I don't know how you guys are doing. I haven't been sleeping. I work at nights, so and it's been crazy. Right now I'm here with 2 hours of sleep, so
Go get some sleep, my friend.
I most certainly will, and then back at it tonight. So
I literally apologized to my wife because I said you're not going to see me for about a week and a half. I literally, I finished work at 6 o'clock. Yeah, the stream started at 6:30, and I got home. Literally came upstairs, got straight on this. I've got a stream tomorrow. Same again. So
yeah. Are you doing the Alex one?
Yeah.
Which he hasn't posted anything about yet, but
No.
He hasn't. Yeah, actually, I
presume
gonna
it's
ask him about that.
because of the cancellations. So
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I was actually able to get a whole week off from work next week, so that'll be decent.
Yeah.
So all right, so starting with Nightly Nerd, if you want to say something to your fellow viewers.
No, just check everyone out here. Most of us will be streaming that day, so kind of pick your poison, jump around between everybody. Make sure you show some love. It's a great time to be around, and Hogwarts Legacy is going to be fantastic. So, thank you guys all. Appreciate you bringing me on here.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. Just thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks for this opportunity, Sly, and looking forward to the game, and hopefully we all have great fun on it, which I know that we will, and it'll be good.
My mic didn't want to work then. Weird. No, thanks. Thanks for inviting me on. I really appreciate it, genuinely, and it's been really nice to chat to some of the guys that I haven't chatted to before as well. So hopefully we can do some more collaborations later on once the game's out. But just really looking forward to coming out now. It's a bit of a weird end of a journey because we've all been covering it for so long. It feels strange we're actually going to be playing it and not making speculations. But yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks.
I feel like I say this at the end of every streams I do with this, just how closer and closer we're getting. It feels quite surreal. That feeling is daunting. You know, like Les Morrow said, we've been speculating so long. We're going to have it in his hands. It doesn't feel quite real. And echo everything Les Morrow said. Like, I've met obviously quite a few before. It's been great speaking to them over the last 4 or 5 months, and brilliant to meet some new people. And thanks for all doing this. It's been really fun. And yes, it's, I guess, hopefully see some of you tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, Sly. I've had a great time, and it was lovely to meet all of you and chat about the game. I can't believe it's going to be here so soon. I will see you all in Hogwarts. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, I would personally like to thank everybody from chat for being here, supporting the channel. And again, all of these phenomenal content creators, link are in the description below. So go ahead, check them out, subscribe, like their videos. Let's support each other. Let's grow together in this amazing journey that Hogwarts Legacy has provided us. Thank you very much, everybody, for accepting this invite. It has been an absolute pleasure. Even though we had some technical difficulties in the beginning. Funnily enough, I did mention that early on that, this is StreamYard, not a big deal. So it was that, I believe it was called Restream app or whatever. I clicked on, as I was installing StreamYard, I clicked on a StreamYard link and followed everything, paid for the plan, all of that. And all of a sudden, things didn't look the same. I'm thinking, it's StreamYard. But then it kept on saying restream. And so later on, I figured out, that was definitely a marketing thing that I missed there. And then it was too late to fix it. But I'm glad everything worked out. And again, I'm glad everybody was able to make it. We all know that you guys have been extremely busy with content creation, sleeping, falling, and... thank you very much. It really means a lot to me, as I'm sure it means a lot to our community to have everybody here, and it has been amazing. Hopefully we can do a lot more in the future. And so very thankful for everything. It's been an amazing journey, and I cannot wait to see what's ahead. It's gonna be great, and I can't wait for the DLCs, the mods, all of the above. So, thank you everybody for coming, and until next time, mischief managed. Goodbye.